And you know what's actually really funny? Neo Aoshi pointed this out to me. There is there's a outfit in game you can buy that gives your character a canvas duffel bag. It's 700 atoms. They didn't even give you enough atoms to buy yourself a virtual canvas bag
that would have
to wear in the game. It would have looked like that bag. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Emergent Gamer Podcast. This is episode 191. We are brought to you, of course, by the OG Podcast Network. I am Trip Zero. I'm here with...
Well, you know what we never say? We never say ogpodcastnetwork.com. But this is Felix Hergood.
Thank you. It's like, who is this? And we have with us Mr. Bruce Grimm.
Yes, hello, everyone.
Bruce Grimm, welcome
Good to be
back to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you back. We have... Neo Aoshi and Lock-in Key on the bench for tonight. Prior obligations. We will see you buds pretty soon. We're also not recording live. Didn't have available equipment for tonight. So this is old school, sitting around a table looking at each other, not looking at the internet.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. But also,
I'm
you
weirded
can
out
find
by
us
it.
on iTunes and also on OG Podcast.
I love being live now, dude.
I know, it's weird.
I love being live.
You were talking
with
about
you
this
guys.
with Rogan, how he said it was weird not being live.
Yeah, I've been listening to I've been driving Mrs. Felix back and forth to Allentown, and I've been listening to a lot of Rogan and a lot of Mark Maron. And Rogan was just remarking recently when he was talking to Anthony Cumia from Opie Anthony that he just gets super freaked out when he has to do a show that's just to tape, that's just to like an edit like we're doing tonight.
He doesn't know where to look or how to interact with people, probably. I can imagine.
I mean, I think this is nicer because now we're sitting around a table. I think one day when we have like a better studio set up and we're in it.
Yeah, this is definitely the better vibe to capture.
Yeah.
Which would be ideal.
And what was you saying your ideal was, like 3 camera shoot?
Yeah, I want a multi-angle situation.
One on each person, and then we have a producer who switches
There's software called Switcher Studio Pro that you run on an iPad. It has to be an iPad with, for some reason, the way their platform works. And you tie it into iPhones, and you have all of your layout on your iPad like a producer screen. You have your angles and you can tap a different angle to go to that iPhone, and you can control exposure and zoom of that phone from your iPad directly.
Is there like a thing where it switches automatically based on where the sound is coming from?
You can probably
kind of like a mic, right? That'd be dope.
Yeah,
too.
that'd be a software setting. But
I'm sure that's a software setting that's like gated behind like some kind of like pay.
Yeah, you pay for
price.
like a platform. Or something.
Right.
But we got a good show for you tonight, guys. It might be a little bit packed. We thought there wasn't much happening, but there is a lot kind of happening, especially with the Game Awards coming out on Thursday. You guys will probably hear this episode Thursday itself, so make sure you listen to that.
Tonight the Game Awards are coming out, so... Yeah.
If you're listening to this tonight.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's Tuesday. Also, today we had Black Armory drop, Destiny 2's first expansion in the Forsaken year. It's the beginning of their new annual year of content pass, which is a new way to deliver. So we'll see how that goes. Also got some stories about a lot of gaming rumors are hitting the mill because of the Game Awards, so we'll hit on some of them. Fallout 76 is the gift that keeps on giving or not giving, depending on what version you ordered. So we'll hit that a little bit too. But Felix, let's start with you. What have you been doing, or what have you been getting into?
Well, I'll save my Fallout 76 discussion for when we talk about Fallout 76 because I have been playing that a lot.
Yeah.
Did you buy the infamous edition?
No.
Okay.
I would never I never bought the Fallout 4 like Pip-Boy edition where you get an actual Pip-Boy.
Where did your Sugar Bombs bowl come from?
But
that thing is amazing.
No, that just came from Sugar Bombs bowl is awesome. It looks like an authentic Sugar Bombs bowl from like the game and shit. No, I got that through Loot Crate.
It's a Loot Crate thing.
That was a Loot Crate thing. We did do Loot Crate for a while. There's actually a crate of Loot Crate shit in that closet if you ever want to go through it.
Sick. All right.
Just grab something.
I'll check it out. Thank you.
Studio swag, baby.
I was going to say perks of being on a podcast.
Yeah. Bruce Grimm, you can go through there right after the podcast and grab whatever you want.
Real quick edition. The only special edition I regret ever buying for a game is Modern Warfare 2 because it came with night vision goggles. And I just saw on Reddit, legitimate night vision.
But why do you regret that?
Because I want night vision.
He regrets
goggles.
not
They're
buying
dope.
Oh, you regret not buying
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And so the crazy
I thought
thing
you
is,
were like, I regret buying it.
I saw some crazy shit at the night, dude. It got real dark and fucked
he's
up
like,
in
it
here.
came with night vision goggles, and I wanted the whole Army
No,
Ranger
so, like,
gear
I
set.
never took them off. God, it was scary.
like Modern Warfare 2,
Yeah,
the night mission where they put them on, like it came with those and like the head that you can like rest them on, and it was like maybe $140 for game and
Wow.
like a tin can with all this stuff in it and the dog tags and
dude.
shit like that.
Yeah.
and it reminded me because on Reddit somebody posted a picture of them. And he wrote a whole big thing about how good they are and they still work. And Modern Warfare 2 were released in 2008,
Yeah.
2009. So
Well,
it's been 10 years and they're
I
still.
don't think there's been
balling
like
out.
some, but I don't
So-
think there's been some crazy advancement in night vision technology since 2008.
I mean, there has. I'm sure there has.
I'm sure there has, but there's probably good night vision tech at that time.
There is.
It'd just be cool to have the original ones with that special edition.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I want to throw out there.
Didn't seem to
'cause
be
I just saw it.
any material sourcing issues for making night vision goggles. So
It's true.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to transition
Nylon, right?
transition ourselves back to myself.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just had to throw
very
it out
good at
there.
this. Excel at it.
So the thing I wanted to highlight that I did try to attempt to play was Red Dead Online.
Yeah, they had their beta for their online
So
service.
I got a chance to play it on the first time I got a chance to play it was the 28th because I was a person who played the game on the October 26th. So the 28th of November I got a chance to play it because I had played it on October 26th, which is the day of release. That day was outstanding. I played it with my friend Jay Prince. Me and Jay Prince had a great time. He had already been playing it for a while because I guess he had gotten it the day before, maybe for whatever version of the game he bought or whatever. I don't really know. Maybe that wasn't true. Maybe I'm just making that up. But he seemed like he had been playing for a while and had figured out some of the mechanics and taught them to me. Because Rockstar is terrible with UI. Their UI is garbage.
It's garbage.
You really have to look a bunch of shit up to figure it out.
Just have to.
You can
learn
ask
to
a
live
friend.
with it as you play it. That's
Yeah,
really the
it
best you
feels
can do.
like Destiny and D1 when we had to like research UI, like what does this mean and that kind of shit. But dumber. Like Rockstar is like their UI design is just fucking not like it's not intuitive.
Well, if you think about it too, the core gameplay of Rockstar games hasn't changed since Grand Theft Auto 3.
Some
right?
are specific like button presses or movements.
Oh,
that you
sure.
still
Yeah,
do, like,
right.
Like tapping X to run is like a consistent thing. But like every other specific game specific,
Interaction or
controlling
whatever,
or
right.
interaction is always different in like some weird wild way.
right.
there's a shit that just don't tell you and it's not obvious and then like
I'm always
I
looking in
have
the
to
lower
turn
left
to a
corner
friend.
see
and-
what the tool.
Yeah, I
Press
can't
this-
thi-
oh yeah, I got to talk
There
to
was
this guy.
there was
If
also
I was going to say, if I think about it, there was an example from my experience with Jay Prince, but I just can't. There was a time when I was bitching to him while we were playing, like, well, why didn't they just fucking tell me that? And I can't think of it right now, but like, I was pissed about numerous things, but.
You sure they didn't and you missed it? Because it happens to me all the time, where I miss the actual like tooltip or something.
I didn't know. That's when I get frustrated, when I don't know if it's them fucking up because they didn't do their UI well enough, or I just don't know it. Right?
It's a fine line to walk.
It's a
You don't
real
want to
fine
take them
line.
out of the game
What
too
were you
much.
gonna
Or being
say,
like,
Bruce?
hey, idiot, this is the button.
right. There was also I remember and this was a while ago, but I remember there was a game, and this was PS2 days. This is again I meant a while ago. That was made for PC, and you could tell it was clearly made for PC. The game, and then translated to PS2 because every time it was a really complex game. It was a lot of like, I think it was some sort of RPG, like a Morrowind RPG or whatever. And the way they translated it, where you had to pretty much do like a 4-button press to get into your character's outfit to change your armor.
Oh, that was,
and so it was
yeah.
really just like it didn't translate well. They really should have just not made it for the PS2 or changed.
Well,
the
that's what
controls.
happened with
Yeah.
Dragon Age
Right.
Origins. Dragon
Yes.
Age Origins.
Yeah, that was a recent example
That
of it, yes.
that translation from PC to fucking console was garbage.
Yeah,
I
and
couldn't
it
fucking
really
do anything
and it
in
completely trashed the gaming experience because it wasn't like it was just cosmetic. You wear this helmet, it doesn't change your stats. No, it was actually really important for the core gameplay. And you couldn't get to certain things. Then like you had to like use your toes because you needed 5 button presses. It was ridiculous. Like,
I wish I could think of it right now, but there was
Yeah.
definitively something where I said out loud to Jay Prince, like, why the fuck am I not understanding why this is, like, why can't we do this thing? And why didn't they tell us that? When I found out that's how you do it, because he told me, I'm like, why don't they just fucking tell us that?
The one time we don't broadcast, I love what your hands are doing
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I'm
He's
sorry.
doing this like cupping thing.
The scoop, yeah.
Where he's scooping the fingers flap back and
You
forth.
forget the shoulders.
The shoulders
like
are
the
very
hitter,
animated
right?
as well. Twitch.tv/emerge_gamer.
But anyway,
Not this episode.
on the whole,
For the
the
next one.
experience was pretty cool. Like I like
Make sure to throw it in there.
I like how they do posses and camps and things like that. And you can have a temporary posse where you just guys join for that moment,
Yeah.
or you can, if you earn $200. That's a whole other problem. But if you earn $200, like you can buy a persistent posse. It's always there, even if you leave the game. It's still going to be there, and people are members of it.
I
So
think
it's
that would be
kinda like
the coolest
clans.
Yeah, that'd be
vibe.
cool.
Like if I was playing this game consistently, I'd love to be able to.
But how
progress.
would you feel if the ability to do a clan was gated behind in-game currency that you would have to earn? Would
If I was earning at the proper rates, I wouldn't
that
mind
would be
it.
bad, right.
But-
So
but
that's a
the-
huge problem. It's already been announced publicly that Rockstar knows that the economy is not as good as it should be, and that was true of GTA Online when it first came out on the PS3. The economy didn't offer you much in reward when you did missions. I think they're super conservative when they do this. The good news about all of this is they're doing it and putting a proper label on it. This is a beta. You're not playing the actual game. They didn't do that with GTA. There was no beta period. They said,
was
here
just,
it
here
is.
it is, yeah.
And then it sucked ass, and we were all like, what the fuck? Why is this not a beta? Why aren't you telling us it's a beta?
You can look at it from a positive or a negative point of view. You could assume that they're being legitimate, and they go, "Oh, I mean, we didn't really tune this at all, and we just put it out there and said, whatever you earn, it is what it is, and we'll see how people feel." Or the negative perspective is they did it on purpose to see if people would
Notice
complain.
it, right.
And if they didn't, they would be able to essentially earn more money with microtransactions.
No,
I hesitate towards going down that road because it's a
Yeah.
lot of what the internet echo chamber likes to yell about.
No, I don't even think it's like, okay, you're really going in the direction of pessimism, cynicism, like they're doing it for financial reasons. That could be true. But like,
I mean, that's the thing. It
I'm
could
just
be.
thinking,
It's not
and I'm just
far-fetched.
thinking, it's the negative way of thinking of it as they did this because they don't feel like hiring QA. They don't want to put the money out for QA. So they're doing QA. You don't think so?
Not at all. You can't be a company like Rockstar and not put money into QA.
But I think there's also the piece of
but you, or the other piece of it is they can't hire a crowd of people to be their QA. They have to do it in the public.
well, think about it
Yeah,
this way:
Public
like,
has to
it
QA
is-
these features.
the single player game is already such a massive game, and if you do it online, it's suddenly bigger. Like you have NPCs plus you have thousands, even if not tens of thousands of players all at the same time.
Not
and
as
so
many.
there's going to be
the NPCs are dialed back.
Oh, okay,
They're like drawn
right.
out of the world.
But my point is, overall, you have. It's already from what I've been able to tell online. I haven't played the game myself, so you have to take this with a grain of salt. But like, obviously, like any open world, there's bugs, right? And there's things to be figured out with micro patches or whatever. So I guess maybe their approach was, this is a massive undertaking. That's why it's a beta, right? They're being open about it. We don't know what the in-game currency is going to look like. We don't know what the gameplay is going to look like. Our posse is going to be, I don't know, overpowered or shitty for the gameplay, right? Especially for persistent ones. So the question that I would have is like,
want to grind this much?
yeah,
for this
exactly,
reward?
right? So the question is, it's a beta. They're open about it, and they're saying, cool, we're going to play this game now. Or sorry, you're going to play this game now. You're going to test it for us and see what works and what doesn't work, and we'll make adjustments.
Yeah.
That'll make it better.
and they're doing that.
Because it's so massive that even if you have UA, right, there's no way you can test everything. And that's why it's an open beta.
So a little anecdote. The next time I tried to play it was a couple days later with Artemis Joe. It's now released to the world. I wanna
Officially
go-
not beta anymore.
Yeah, no, still beta.
Okay.
But officially released to every person who could play it.
Oh,
Yeah, there was
understand.
like a rolling-
I understand.
There was a
Okay.
rollout.
Yeah.
That
So
was
similar to like
slow.
the Battlefield 5 rollout. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
So everyone can play it, and now I'm in there, and I try and play with Artemis Joe, the guy who comes on my stream all the time. Great dude. It's not playable. I mean, it dropped like four times in one stream in a matter of a half hour.
Like you got
period.
kicked from the world?
kicked entirely to the dashboard.
Wow.
There was just lots of fucking like Artemis was going on and on about how he couldn't find his horse, like just stupid shit. And finally, when I was kicked the fourth time, I said, "All right, we're going to play Fallout 76, the better game."
Yeah.
right? Which is probably, in terms of reconnecting to the experience when you get dropped out, there's nothing parallel to Fallout 76 right now. You can get right back up and continue playing.
Wow.
Like,
I could probably give you a lot of games that are really good about getting you back into the game.
well, Destiny. Destiny's outstanding. Seriously, like, how often do you get booted from Destiny? Never?
Rarely, outside of some real specific.
Sometimes it's like
circumstances,
the
right?
Badger shit. I remember that, like Badger.
Or like schedule.
There's actually
I got Badger, I
there's a
got
weird
Otter.
bug with the most recent raid, Last Wish. There's an encounter at the very end. The very last thing you have to do, and spoilers if anyone has not raided and still wants to be blind somehow, God bless you. You skip ahead maybe like 45 seconds.
Don't even skip. Just fucking listen.
The last encounter is you've got to carry the heart of this beast that you've killed back through the entire, like, half of the raid building that you made your way through. And it's like a relay race because only one person can carry it for so many seconds.
Yeah.
And you can have like a chance to extend it, but then that person's going to essentially pass it off to the next person, and you're relay racing back through the building. They haven't publicly said specifically what causes you to get kicked while in this encounter, but the prevailing theory is that it has to do with wearing an emblem on your character, like just the background decoration behind your username. You can change that out, but different emblems will track different statistics you have in the game.
Oh, weird.
And sometimes if you have a really high scoring like mission or a strike you've done and you're putting that on your emblem, that tracker can cause this bug to just air everyone out to orbit from the activity.
You're too good at this game. Leave.
This bug appeared when teams were trying to go for the flawless run of the raid, which unlocks a triumph in the game.
Right.
And if one person dies in your fire team at all, no matter what, you're kicked to orbit.
Right. I remember that from Destiny 1, like the Atheon, right? What was it? The Flawless Raider,
Flawless
right?
Raider,
That was the
But
achievement.
there's
One of the hardest things I think you can
built
do in
into
that
the game now, like a redeemable achievement for doing this. And it's
Gotcha.
part of some
That's
other
dope.
titles
Yeah,
you
no,
can
I
get
like
too. But this really made its appearance, and people were trying to do this, and they were flawless the whole time. And then it's like, oh, guitar error. That was the name of it. Back to orbit.
Well, that's a game that's been out for a while, so people being raging and upset about that makes sense. Like, if I was in that situation, I'd probably rage like a lunatic, right? And so keep in mind, I'm playing Red Dead Online, and you get lost in that world, and you forget really what you're doing or who you are or whatever. I get dropped like the third or fourth time, and I go into this long rant. Like, fuck this. Can't believe we have to be their QA. All the shit I was just saying,
Sure.
raging like a lunatic. And you know Kyle, who comes in from time to time. Kyle had just come in when I was in the middle of the rage, right? And he's like, "Hey, Felix," or whatever. And I didn't.
One of the draws.
I didn't really respond to him or anything. He didn't really say anything further, and I just went and raged. And then finally, I said, "I'm skipping over to Fallout 76." And he doesn't like that game. He's pissed about it for whatever his own personal reasons are. So I don't know how much longer in the stream he actually stuck around, but probably about 20 minutes later, I look down at my phone and I see just no commentary whatsoever sent through a private Facebook message from Kyle. And it's the link for Red Dead Online beta feedback. That's all it is.
Perfect.
He
There
just
you go.
without any other word,
Perfect.
just sent you the official feedback form. He goes, "Hey, hey, bud, maybe don't rage into a television. Here, submit this."
Yeah,
form.
he's like,
you'll
maybe
be a lot
you
more
should
effective."
Submit your video.
Maybe you should just submit the feedback that you're having a problem with to, like,
That's really funny,
he-
honestly.
that's him being a good mod. There you go.
Yeah,
you know,
perfect.
he's
It's
modding the actual
Modding you.
content creator. Yeah, modding
Chill
me.
the fuck out. And submit this form.
Chill the fuck out and just submit. You know what? I never did. I don't know if I'm going to.
Yeah, of course you didn't. You're not going to do
Fuck
this.
that.
You already give him so much time loading back into the game.
Fill this out.
What I originally fucking said to everybody who keeps inviting me to play this fucking game, and I said the exact same shit about Fallout 76. If I start playing this game and it's trash, I'm going to wait fucking a couple of months and not play it.
Sure.
And then go back later. And I didn't follow my own advice. I remember what GTA Online was when it first came out. It was piece of shit.
Yeah.
I remember.
And I know now that this is piece of shit, and I'm not going to play it. Don't ask me.
So there you go.
I don't care. If any of you are listening, you like to come to my stream, don't ask me to play Red Dead fucking beta.
I think everyone's going to ask you now.
When they say it's Red Dead
you set
Online
yourself
and it's not a
Everyone's
beta,
going to
I'll
ask
give
you
it
every time.
I will give it more of a fucking shot when it's just legitimately called Red Dead Online
you
and
go.
they feel like they've patched everything out.
I'm trying to remember when Red Dead, not Red Dead 2 came out. Online was part of it from day one. No, it was not.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But there were,
I
but
played
I don't
that game
remember
so
this.
late.
I don't remember
either.
the level of this level of frustration from anybody I talked to.
My first online experience was Red Dead Online, long after it had come out.
Yeah.
And that was my first online experience ever. And if that had been trash, I probably never would have played an online game ever again.
Right.
But because my experience playing Red Dead Online originally was so good,
Yeah, it was fantastic.
and playing with friends and everything, I got hooked on online games with other people, and I never knew that I cared about that.
Right.
All up until that point, all I had ever done is play games with myself.
Sure.
Just sitting in a room alone, and that was fun. And I get a great feeling that Red Dead Online is going to be amazing.
It'll get there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, once you can do posses and it's not. So far, it's not as fun as what I've been experiencing with the Fallout, but it's definitely super fun to posse up and do shit together.
Nice.
And it seems like they did improve on matchmaking, like how you matchmake into stuff.
That's solid, yeah.
I can't wait to try it once I get the chance to
In a
play
couple
something
months.
not broken.
Yeah. Let it do its thing for a little bit. Before we transition over into some other news, before getting into Bruce Grimm's content, I do want to hit Fallout 76 since we're here with the most recent little
Now or
debacle.
later?
No, right now.
Okay.
Rip
Since
the
we're
Band-Aid
talking
off.
about the shitty stuff, right?
Yeah. So the game obviously came out and there were a lot of problems with bugs and performance, and as you'd expect, but it seems like even a little bit heavy-handed even for Bethesda. But that's dealable, right?
Right.
The game is patchable, the game is fixable.
Yep.
It's a specific kind of experience. People love it or hate it. Like my brother loves the shit out of it.
Fallout 76?
Loves it.
Oh, tell Andrew I said what's up.
I will. He's on PS4, sadly. And he was trying to get me to get it on PS4. And
Dude.
it just I'm not going to
talking to a brick wall.
I'm not going to play it either. I mean, it wasn't brick. I was talking back, but I was very stoic in my refusal. Because if I was going to play, I'd play it on PC.
You're not even doing it that just doesn't even I know you maybe I know you better than
I don't enjoy Fallout 4, and we've
in
talked
terms
about
of
this.
games.
Oh, okay.
In terms of games,
I love Fallout 3. I loved the shit out of Fallout 3. Could not stick with Fallout 4. I can't ever get past Diamond City. It's a great question, and I've tried to ask myself that every time that I've tried
what's
to
the
restart
key
it.
component that's just
I don't know, dude. And usually I'm pretty
deciding
good at
factor.
self-reflection.
I'm
Even in
trying to
terms
think
of what I
core,
enjoy or don't enjoy.
core gameplay. What changed from 3 to 4? I mean, they made it a little bit more.
well, core gameplay, they hired a group to teach them how to make guns. They work way better.
Sure, the gunplay without going into the target mode or whatever it's called, right, works a lot better.
Right, you can use iron sights in the
Correct. You can actually play it like a first-person shooter if you want to.
game. I mean, are you upset that the morality choices were gone from it?
No, and I don't feel anything close to being upset when I'm playing it. I just feel a bunch of nothing.
I don't
honestly.
feel like it.
Yeah, maybe it's the environment.
It could
maybe
also be
it's
because you
the-
It's
had
bland.
Well, they're all bland, but there was something I think about DC that grabbed me a little bit more than
Boston.
the Boston area.
You don't care about Boston?
No, it's not that. I think it's the way that they've designed this land, because it's not a recognizable Boston. To some extent, it is. Like there are landmarks and shit too,
Yeah.
right? But it's very much. It's not the same that DC was.
Faneuil
Like,
Hall. I
in
found that.
DC, you were in just the city burned out. Almost.
Oh, it's cool to
exactly
go to
where
the
it was.
Capitol and fight those super hard enemies.
Is
Smithsonian Museum,
is
they call it
DC
that, but-
no? Is DC a city you're more familiar with in terms of its?
No, I'm actually equally familiar with both of those.
Oh, okay.
Like I've been to Boston a lot on tours with bands. Me and an ex biked around DC for like a week because it was just like a cool thing to hop from like the free city bike to the next one. If you made it like
Shut up.
to the closest one within a mile, you could just like keep
Yep.
your pay as like $1 instead of paying more. So like there's been a lot of on foot travel in both cities.
Yeah, I lived in DC a couple of years, and the city bike was amazing. I loved it.
So
Did a-
I
did
feel
a lot
close
of-
to
lot of-
them specifically those cities. So
Yeah, I
don't know
did
why
a lot
like
of
one
foot
more than
traffic in
another.
both of those cities.
I wonder if Fallout 4 didn't appeal to you because it was so similar as Fallout 3, but it didn't have the appeal of the city, right? I mean, maybe a simple solution is the answer.
That or the story, maybe something
Right,
about the story was
story,
different.
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I just know it's not my kind of game. But we're almost over the hump of like the problems with it
Right.
to become like to be dealt with. Now we're going to enter the phase of the game where we just see if it exists longer than a couple months. But Bethesda, of course,
I think I have the answer
made a faux pas. An answer to what?
to your problem.
Let's hit that in a second.
Okay.
People ordered a $200 collector's edition for this game.
Yeah.
And one of the
more
points-
expensive ones too.
I think it was the most. It was like the
Like
Power
Battlefield
Armor
1 with
edition.
like a solid figurine was 140.
Yeah, the 200 is a lot, and this came with like a big helmet, like one of the Power Armor helmets, but it also was billed as having a canvas bag.
Yeah.
Like
Really nice,
like a
too.
canvas duffel bag. And when people got this actual collection, it was literally like a paper thin nylon, looked like a trash bag.
You could look
Yeah.
through it.
This came in like
Yeah, look bad.
looked really really bad, and not only did it look bad and was not what they were advertised, literally explicitly not what they advertised, down to the materials.
Yeah.
Bethesda's first response to their like from their customer service
It
standpoint
was
was
so
like,
bad.
"Hey, we're sorry you're disappointed. We don't plan on doing anything about this." Like that was word for word. We have no plans on addressing this.
Jesus Christ.
Then they offered people 500 atoms, which is an in-game currency for cosmetics. And I didn't know the conversion rate, like
Right.
what is an atom versus
Yeah,
a
yeah.
dollar. 500 atoms, it's like $5. So you didn't get your
That's
your
sweet. You got
materials. that you spent
2.5% of your total purchase
$200
price.
for, and you didn't. You just got that in
Yeah.
game.
Jesus.
And you know what's actually really funny? Neo Aoshi pointed this
God.
out to me. There's a
Horrendous.
outfit in game you can buy
Yeah.
that gives your character a canvas duffel bag. It's 700 atoms. They didn't even give you enough atoms
Oh,
to
that is
buy yourself
insulting.
a
Oh
virtual
my God.
canvas bag
That would have
to
looked
wear
good.
in the game. It
Oh,
would have
God,
looked like
is
that bag.
insulting.
So now people have gotten an email finally this week saying, "Hey, if you bought this edition,
Right.
submit a ticket on our website. We're securing suppliers, and we're going to be sending out these canvas bags."
Legitimate ones,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But look how much fucking work it took to get this to happen.
We're looking at pictures and it's so fucking awful. It looks like a deflated balloon.
The
It's
biggest
something I would pay like $1 for at like a reusable
Yeah.
plastic bag at my local supermarket.
the one that lasts 2.5 trips, and then it fucking rips.
Yeah, and what's interesting is they did make canvas bags for influencers.
I was about to hit this point.
Oh,
Right.
but I was going to say they don't even look the same.
No, this is like a backpack style.
Yeah.
Backpack style.
They're actually quite nice.
This was
right.
given out to people that were brought to an event to like sell them on the game. To be like, hey, you should play this game because it's great, and then of course all your followers will like it and we'll make a shit ton of money. Now, not the influencer's fault, not the content
Right.
creator's fault, but Bethesda for sure at this point
Jeez.
knew what they were planning to send out and what they were planning to give out, and it's a bad look, dude.
Well, and the fact that their first two responses were
Meh.
"fuck you,"
Yeah,
and the
pretty much.
second one was "fuck you" a little less, but still "fuck you," and
Yeah.
then the last one
Yeah.
was like, "well, let's fix it," right? Because there's actually an outrage, which is just
Here's
wild.
some fake digital currency, like
Yeah.
the amount that's so negligible that if you buy $50 versus $20, you might just get this bonus shit anyway.
Yeah, it's wild.
but it's what's the word I'm looking for? Tempered. Tempered, is that calming or
Tempered response? Is that what you're
calm.
saying, or
It's
what?
like a
calm?
yeah.
No, it's
Well, I mean-
it's exacerbated.
Great word.
Oh,
That's
yeah, yeah.
exactly what
It's
you want.
exacerbated
Yes.
by the fact that there is this perception that this game is more broken than it actually is. That's from my personal
Yeah.
experience.
And I've seen you talk about this, right? Yeah.
Like,
I mean, whether or not,
but
the
I
extent
heard
of the
that there were
brokenness-
rumors. I heard that there were rumors that on the PC there were people who couldn't even start the game.
Yeah, there are
Wow.
much deeper bugs
Which is
on
bad.
PC than
Which is
on
bad.
console.
Yeah.
And regardless of the actual broken level of this game versus other games, literal objective broken level, you're right. It's the perception that this game is a hot piece of shit that somehow can barely turn on.
And it's online only, right? It's a lot like the Division game, which I loved when it came out. But it was also riddled with bugs. I mean, that was Gooby stuff.
Well, it's more than in terms of like an
Bethesda, but-
online game. It's more of just what. Okay, this will draw me back to that comment that I was going to say.
Yeah.
This is essentially like I had this kid come into my stream prior to when I was playing the beta, prior to this game coming out, who basically he came in and the first thing he said was, "This is dead. Why are you playing it? Why are you wasting your time? This is dead." As we kept typing it
Dead
over and
game.
over again.
Right.
Dead game.
Dead game.
Dead game. Yeah, just in Trump's voice.
Yeah.
Dead game.
Wrong.
Why are you playing it?
Let me tell you.
And he was he
Deadest game.
he basically then started to say this is just a reskin of, and I'm not going to go down the reskin thing, but he was saying this is a reskin of Fallout 4, and I said this isn't a reskin. These are the skins. These are the assets
They
from
didn't
fucking
reskin
Fallout 4.
It's Fallout 4.
It's because this is the multiplayer designed
Yeah.
for Fallout 4.
Dude, he had like 2 out of the 5 shithead comments right out of the gate.
Yeah,
There.
yeah,
Dead game
Jesus.
and reskin are everyone's favorite complaints, along with like cut content and microtransactions and some other just like easy to complain about things.
You're right.
I will say the reskin argument in my mind is, I think Call of Duty is the biggest offender of that, and I'll stand by that. Like, I feel like that's a legitimate argument for the Call of Duty series. I think personally, like after Modern Warfare 2,
They listened
it's just
to
like-
fan
but-
comments about how it would be so cool to have
No, yeah, I
Fallout
get it.
as a
Right.
multiplayer,
Right.
and they probably have been listening to this since
And they
Fallout
made it.
3,
Right, and
you
they
know?
made it.
And they did it. They said, okay, we're going to just take the assets from Fallout 4, and we're going to partner with a company that can help us. We got the gun thing right with Fallout 4. This company helped us make guns better in our game. And then they said, now we're going to figure out how to take the assets we currently have, which at the time was essentially the Atlas model. You know, your character moves around and the world builds around you. And you
Yeah.
can't do that if you're going to have a bunch of people.
Right.
So you got to build the world, and it has to be extant. So they wanted to figure out
persistent, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they wanted to figure out how to make this world persistent. Now, the result of that I've experienced after many hours, I don't know how many hours I put in, but it's damn near close to 100 so far. The result of that is some of the mechanics that exist in Fallout 4 that made it suck, right? The biggest one is the mission that you get hung up on, where you have to start building settlements. And that is, in fact, the mission.
I did hate that.
Exactly.
I hated that a lot.
It sucked.
Didn't care for it.
The whole crafting settlements part of the game is a huge turnoff. And now in Fallout 76, it has a practical purpose.
Oh, the game's like built around it almost.
Right.
You now,
Pun intended.
because this game isn't like the Division in the sense that, and now I'm not talking about all the new features that have come out for the Division,
Yeah.
because I think there's a mode that's similar to this. What's that mode in the Division where you got to survive?
Oh, I don't know the official name, but it's just like a
Yeah, it's just-
survival.
it's pretty much like Minecraft.
almost like battle royale
So-
thing where you just
so
everyone
thi-
comes in and
This is the
gets
reason.
a
really-
gun and good luck, God bless.
Bad comparison there, like Minecraft, but
I'm not trying to
it is.
sell this to you, Trip Zero, but this is probably the Fallout. Just like I said, this is the Fallout I never knew I wanted. This is probably the Fallout you never knew you wanted, because this is a Fallout where you cook for your friend. You provide the lean-to by crafting it for your buddy who doesn't have the materials to do it. You know, somebody has a plan or a recipe that they found. They don't need it. Hey, do you want this? You give it to your friend. Like, I'm doing an awful lot of that. And I know you love that kind of shit in a multiplayer game where you provide stuff for each other. Am I wrong? Am I right? I can't remember.
Have you ever played Rust?
It's a lot like Rust.
I was going to say,
This is
like,
like
this
Rust on
sounds
crack.
a lot right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Rust is real buggy and like wonky. The server is laggy, and you got latency and Bungie. What did you call it? I can't think of the word right now. Rubber banding of players. Right, you're shooting somebody and they pop back and they kill you. Or
Oh,
whatever.
right,
But,
because their
but-
ping is
correct. Yeah, their servers are
high.
are terrible. But
that's the thing.
but as soon as you get kind of like crafting, being good at different things, and having the things to build, where you almost have the point is you're building a community, you're building a settlement, right? You have a posse, and you're building shit.
Yeah.
And then eventually you become strong enough to raid someone else's settlement or whatever, right?
Yeah, but no, it's not like that.
It's not? Okay.
Because the huge misconception is that this game has some kind of PvP to it. And that's one of the biggest problems in their marketing. They didn't explain, no, there is no PvP. Sorry. They should have just fucking said,
Are there NPCs then? Like, how do you?
there are monsters and
Okay,
shit.
there are,
There's a
okay.
shit ton of monsters. And
Right.
there's this thing called the Scorch they invented, and it has a whole, it's deeply set into the narrative. And
Right.
if you actually go and pick up like shit all over the place, you start to learn about what happened, why all these people
Okay.
fucking scorched. And like, it's deep. There's layers
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it. But just like any Fallout game where you find stuff and you just start exploring. And there's ghouls, but the ghouls are all feral, you know? There are no NPCs to talk to. They're all dead.
Right.
But there's a reason for it in the narrative.
And you find out.
And you find that out as you go along. Just following the initial Overseer's quest, you follow an Overseer out of the vault. You want to know what happened to her. Played by Adrienne Barbeau, by the way, from Escape from New York.
Oh,
That's
that's
awesome.
I was like, I know that name.
Yeah, the young. She was young then.
Yeah.
and she's an older actress now, but she plays the voice of the Overseer. But anyway, the point is This is not a PvP game at all. It is a online co-op experience.
Yeah,
If
they
you play
marketed it totally wrong.
If you play it thinking that it's a PvP experience, you're going to be put down by all of the tactics that they have to stop you from playing that way.
Right.
You know, you shoot at me. If I do nothing, you damage me minimally. You can't even annoy me. Right. Like,
Interesting.
Yeah, it's got to be like mutual engagement.
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And
Okay,
I can
gotcha.
literally leave the server if you just keep at it.
That's a lot like when Diablo 2 online, I mean, this is a lifetime ago, but Diablo 2 online was very similar where if you did not engage, if you were engaged upon but you did not retaliate, you would just be annoying.
And it's
Which
clearly
I like it,
designed-
actually. That's cool, yeah.
It's clearly designed to be a co-op experience.
Right.
I craft this for you. I make this for you. You need a recipe? Oh, I got it in my inventory. I'll give it to you. But, you know, there are problems. The problems are obviously, you know, frame rate issues. The world has weird bugs. I mean, I wrote the title of my stream one time was, it was, Join Me for the Random. Or join the random with me.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's really what happens. I mean, there is some fun in some of this weird shit that happens. One thing, though, that to call back to my frustration point earlier with Red Dead Beta is if you get booted, it instantly says on the main menu, play with team. If your teammates are already in, you hit that, you go right back in, you're back in the world. So in terms of nailing connectivity, they did it. There's nothing wrong with connectivity, at least on the Xbox.
Yeah.
There could be with PC, there could be with other consoles, but like with the Xbox, I get right back in, I'm ready to play, I'm back
great.
in the world, I didn't lose a thing, I haven't lost anything from my inventory once since I started playing this.
Wow.
Interesting.
So I'm not having the experience that has been talked about in Reddit and on the internet. I did not buy the $200 version of this game and get fucking burned by their
You didn't buy the paperback.
their bag gate.
Yeah.
I didn't get burned by that, so I'm not having the same experience that's consistent with everyone else. But if you
just got a game.
if you did have that experience, I completely understand. You should be pissed as hell. Come back because I think the game is going to just get better and better and better as time goes on. But
I hope
it's
that
a
it does.
big
Honestly,
fucking
hope
world
that
too.
It does.
There's a lot to explore still.
That's awesome.
I just started getting into you know, when I first started playing it, I just did co-op with other people and didn't pay attention to any of the shit in the world. Well, that got boring real quick. It's like I don't want to go. And there is one opportunity for PvP, and it's these locations that just offer you more resources. They're called workshops. You go to one there, and they're really unique, and they have multiple parts to figure out how to unlock them and use them. And that is something you'd love to explore because you get in there and you're like, okay, how do I get this workshop up and running?
That's cool.
But in the end, the reality is the workshops will provide you quicker. They're a shortcut to provide you quicker materials, more materials quicker.
That's good, right?
If you're okay,
like a
like
risk
I
reward.
am, grinding out there in the world, just finding the materials in looting, which I've done for years in Fallout, then you're fine with that. You
That's
don't
the
even
fun
have,
of it, right? The
You don't
looting
have to
piece.
do the workshops. But some people with the PvP mindset are going in and going, well, the only way to scratch that itch is to do those. So there's people who are crowding around these like workshops and doing PvP when it's not a PvP game. They're playing it wrong. They're just playing the game wrong.
Right.
I mean, it's in there if you want to do it, but I don't need that skip. I don't need that to run through that and do all that. And also, there's so many steps. It's annoying.
Right.
They're just cool. They're like set pieces. Like there's one that's
nice.
like a giant. It's this giant ore mine drill that drills ore, and it gives you a shit ton of ore. But there's all these steps to get it started. You have to like go find all the pieces.
Yeah.
They're these cores. You got to craft them. Then you got to put them in the fucking thing, and then you got to get it started. Then you got to wait and do like a defense type thing.
That's kind of what's going on with Black Armory.
Oh, you want to
in
transition?
Destiny right
Let's
now.
do it. Sorry,
Yeah, we
I've been
can
talking too much.
No, you're
Yeah.
fine. You're fine. But it was a good moment to kind of hop from that.
But
to
that's
another.
exactly it. Yeah.
As of today, the day we were recording, December 4th,
Right.
Destiny 2 released Black Armory, their content patch. Now, as of last week, we were in Season 5 officially. They put out the patch, they retuned the weapons, they set the groundwork. Today, the content began to drop.
I heard there's somebody stop me if I'm wrong on this, but this is now supposed to be like Destiny's going to be a year where they just give you free content and not.
This is the most they've ever given players for free, in addition to the most they're dripping out for consistent players.
Wow. Nice.
So the game doesn't go away as is, right? There's still the Forsaken campaign. There's so much endgame for people. Like I know there's a lot of players. I don't know the percentages right now, but I'm sure I could find these statistics. There's players that haven't even like completed the first raid of Forsaken.
crazy.
You know, like
Wow.
I mean, it's a huge technical undertaking. You've got to get people together, so I can understand it.
Right.
You know, but there's still so much to dig into, and we're already at a point where we're getting more content. Like there's more than you could ever have possibly imagined to do in Destiny if you're a year one player.
That's cool.
And now we're getting Black Armory. So that's the official season pass. It's the beginning of that content. Players that have Destiny 2, like regardless, I don't even think you have to have Forsaken. You can just have Destiny 2. You're going to get seasonal things. You're going to get Iron Banner, which is a competitive event.
Yep.
For a
Yeah, we
week.
love that.
You're going to get their seasonal events, like the holiday event they call
Season of the something.
God damn it, not Crimson Days. Crimson Days is their Valentine event, but there's like a holiday season.
I don't remember.
The Dawning.
The Dawning. Yeah, there
that's
it
going to
is.
be for everyone. Some exotic events, like exotic quests that are time gated, are going to be for everyone. Like there's a
dope.
lot of stuff they're giving out for any and all players. But there's also gated stuff with Black Armory, and Black Armory introduces a new campaign, a new way to get weapons where you forge these weapons. There's a faction that's been living under the city that you had no idea was ever there. So I have a lot to learn
So
about
the
this skill.
Dreaming City?
No, like the tower.
Oh,
like,
under the
like in
tower.
the city.
Oh, that's
That
cool.
city.
It's you walk in there because a character says, "Look, we need help getting these things reactivated. Guardians don't even know about this, but take this thing, you'll get in the door." And it's guarded by a robot called an Exo in Destiny's lore, and the robot is immediately hostile. You're walking in
course,
and you're
yeah.
you're looking at all these guns that are just like they're hanging in shrink wrap from the ceiling. It looks very cool, very futuristic.
dope.
And this robot's like, "It's beautiful, right? Yeah, they're not fucking for you. Like, why are you here? Like, Guardians aren't allowed in here." And then she discovers like, "Oh shit, okay, well, if you do what you say you can do, we can probably get these forges relit and make some of these weapons again for use in doing X, Y, Z.
And this is going to lead to like some really cool, like
Some very cool, very cool weapons.
I'm blanking. What are the gold weapons called again?
Exotics, yeah.
Exotic weapons. Yeah.
So here's a question: Are they like almost customizable weapons at this point, or will there be like pre-made, predetermined weapons that you
now
would get?
do drop with random rolls.
Okay, they
and
do.
this Black
I remember
Armory is
that,
going to
yeah.
introduce more choices per perk slot.
Oh, that's
Usually
great.
you would
Yeah,
get
yeah,
like barrel choices, magazine choices, perk choices, but the perks are kind of static. Like you
Okay.
get a perk,
Yep.
and then a perk. Now they're going to kind of stack some of those, so you can choose between some really cool perks all in the same gun.
Yeah.
There's also exotic weapons, of course, from these.
Well, that's
forges.
bringing back like how weapons were structured in D1, right?
Yeah, it's a lot closer to that for sure.
Yeah.
Some of these exotic weapons are like a sniper rifle that has 4-shot magazine, but you can also compress all of those rounds into one, and you shoot your whole magazine with one burst.
Just fire the
That's
one
awesome.
bullet.
Just like body shot yellow bars or people
Headshot
crucible.
people.
Yeah.
Damn.
There's a bow and arrow now that on critical hits releases like a poison gas,
Oh, that's dope.
so you can take care of like huge groups of
Yeah,
ads.
like CC. That's
There's
cool.
an arc. It's like an electricity power, an arc grenade launcher, where every grenade that you hit on the ground, they link to each other. So you can essentially like draw yourself like a trap or a
That's dope.
square around other ads. or
Oh,
other
that's
people.
great.
Like
That's cool.
they got real inventive with some of these guns.
Nice.
That's fucking cool.
It's really cool.
It's such a smart.
and it
it's a smart
unlocks
game.
gameplay too, which is dope, right? So like you think you have a raid figured out when there's a lot of ads or whatever, right? And then
Yeah,
really
you-
what you're just like, cool, I have this grenade launcher, I'm just gonna put a
Literally
wall up,
got new tactics, yeah.
right? Which is dope. I love that.
So as of today, one forge is active and available, and the goal is to reignite this forge. Now, this is a new public event kind of thing that needs 3 people to play, and match makes you right there, which is
Wow,
great
nice.
because usually you'd have to like bring people in or do some weird like recruiting tactics to get people to play these events with you. This you press start, and if you're not in a team of 3, it'll bring people in, which is very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
It's hard though. They raised the power cap from 600, which is the current max, or was, to 650. So that means that this activity is immediately 615.
That's great. That's
So
great.
when you start the game today, you do a couple powerful rewards. You get maybe a new leg, a new set of leg armor. You've taken that now from your 600 piece to maybe 604, 605.
Right.
All your power is an average. So all of your
Okay.
other gear is still 600.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
legs are 605. So you're only maybe
601,
200, 601,
602,
something like
yeah.
that. So this shit, as of today, is still really brutal and really hard to get through 3 waves of reigniting this forge.
Damn.
Haven't done it. I've gotten to the boss wave, but me and some friends couldn't get through
Crazy.
it. So it's going to be an investment, a grind,
Yeah.
and a power build, which is what the players really want. You know,
Yeah, like true endgame content.
They wanna
right?
have, like,
for those
an
committed
investment,
players.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
and that's why they're
That's why
staggering.
people fell off after D2's
Yeah, they were done.
initial
Everything.
release.
People
Yeah.
were already complaining today a little bit, saying, "Oh my god, like it's this hard to do the Forge," and it's like, yeah, it's going to.
If it was easy, you could be complaining
player
in a week
engagement,
about
yeah.
right. Yeah,
And there
of
are
course.
there's 3 forges based on 3 families that started this Black Armory. There's
That's cool.
a French family, a Norse family, and a Japanese family, and they're kind of like spreading out the forge activations over weeks. And I would guess that they're going to get harder, like the power level for
Right.
each forge and what's needed
cool.
to reignite them is going to get more and more as this progresses
Yeah.
into the season.
I remember it reminds me of throwback like D1 Atheon raid. Right, you went in level 30, but the ads were level 35 or 37. I forget. And it was brutal. Like the first time you did the raid, you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Jesus,
It was like that. I think it
like
was
you did
30.
no damage and like you had to focus fire.
It might have been like level 28
Yeah,
to
yeah,
30.
yeah. That's
or
what it
31
was.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was pretty rough.
What did
That's
I,
cool. I'm glad they brought it back. That's good. That's endgame content.
What I see, I think it was on Diamond Jab's like Twitter or whatever. Did they release like an actual grimoire text?
Oh yeah, dude. They're printing the lore.
Yeah.
Not in
Oh,
order.
that's cool.
So it's not just like the number
So
of
he
your lore
wasn't
card
he
in
wasn't
order.
showing a picture of something he owned.
Yeah, he is.
He already
They've
has
started shipping them out. Yeah, they were pre-orders a couple months ago.
Okay.
Like real nice bound book.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
leather cover.
It's like a
And-
canvas, canvas,
Looked like a
right?
fucking
yeah,
tome.
nylon shrink wrap cover. They're doing these in thematic groupings, which is really smart. So the first one is about like the Hive and the Darkness and Oryx and the Taken King and all of that.
You getting
And-
it?
Yeah, I'm waiting for mine. Just
I was gonna say like that's
Dude,
that's a
my,
rhetorical
you know
question.
I've
Yeah,
been
right.
on this lore
Fuck
shit.
yeah, dude.
Since everyone like we're playing. It's
He made his own fucking grimoire.
No, yeah.
2014. People were like, "What are you talking about? What story?" I'm like,
he-
"Dude, this fucking
they're-
story."
they're
is
story.
Shows
Yeah,
up
yeah,
with a Rolodex of index cards that he's flipping
right.
through.
I got them all right here.
Made my grimoire.
And then also we've got the new raid coming out literally on Friday,
Dope.
and that's going to be very, very.
The power level for that?
It's going to be 640, I think.
Jeez, wow. Okay.
So
So really, you want to do the armory, and then you want to do the raid. Otherwise, you're going to get pooped on in the raid. That's good though. And again, I think it comes back to what you just said, where it's like people complain, "Oh, it's so hard, whatever." But then the same people would complain if they got it done in a day.
yeah, you complain there'd be nothing
about
to do.
right, exactly. So I think I'd rather. I mean, overall, I think games have
Is
got
it-
their
is
place
it
here
the-
anyway.
no,
Yeah,
hold
I
on.
agree.
Is it
Yeah.
the same people complaining? It's not the same people complaining. It's people.
No, it's not. They're
The
different
people
groups.
who want the fucking hard shit are not the same people complaining about doing it too easy.
No, but there are always people that are going to complain.
Correct.
Right.
No, but I think if there are people who complain about there not being endgame content, right, about finishing stuff too quickly, but then I think there is a subsection of those people who also complain about stuff being too hard.
There's also
Right.
a lack of depth. Like when
Right.
people were complaining about the state of Destiny 2, like you can make the endgame content argument and the lack of activities definitely a thing, but it was more so, at least in my opinion, more so that what you could do felt shallow. You did one thing for one specific reward.
Right.
You had no reason to play it again. There were no random rolls. You had nothing to chase.
Yeah.
The activities were stale and
Yeah.
kind of very easily either repeatable or there was no reason to do them. Like they introduced all these things like lost sectors, like hidden dungeons
Right.
on every planet, and like there was no reason to do them ever.
Dude, Lost Sectors.
No reason.
No, Lost Sectors seemed to me. I was in very familiar territory with Lost Sectors because it felt like it didn't fit in Destiny because it was almost like a collectible on the map, like a map collectible.
At first, that's pretty much all that it was.
Yeah. Like I went in, I would do them, and I'd be like, oh, ticked another one off. And wow, it feels like, well, this feels an awful lot like Assassin's Creed.
Well,
You
at
know,
this
like-
point, they'll hide things in
I'm not
there.
going back
There
to a
will be
fucking
quests
bandit camp.
that are there. You've got to go there for some specific missions. There are story relations in all these lost sectors. Like they have more depth now, which is really
Yeah, that's the way it should be, right? Yeah.
It's so funny. They added Radiant quests in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like a little board you go to and you pull more and they keep respawning.
Yeah, just like easily repeatable fetch quests. And
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that.
So like that's now adding in even Assassin's Creed, like this reason for going back to a bandit camp you might have cleared.
But that's great.
You go back for another mission and it's just like to go in and wipe out more bandits and get some
Right.
reward or whatever. But like It's just funny how they added that in. It's more of an RPG, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember, I
Very
mean,
much,
in and again, I'd never played D2, but in D1, I remember, right, they recycled kind of when they just Taken King, right? Like all the maps were like redesigned with Taken stuff in them, and that was cool, right? I mean, it was the same maps, you went down the same corridors, but it gave it a new feel. So I'm generally pretty pro like recycling stuff and just making it as long as, again, like you said, right? If there's depth and progression, like meaningful, involved progression, I'm happy to replay the same level, which is a different objective, right? I don't mind that at all ever in a game.
Done both things this time. Like they'll
In
definitely
D2, right?
The classic trick that they always play in these kind of any looter shooter, where you're moving through an area. If you reverse that area and have the person go back in the opposite direction, they've been going
it's
through
great.
the entire way. Like you literally feel like you're in a new place. So that's a really cool design trick. But there are literally new areas. Like
that's awesome.
The forges are, you go under this Cabal base on Earth. Like deep into the mountain, and all of a sudden you see this thing just like sitting there, like, oh shit, this has been here like the whole time.
That's
so
dope,
they are
right.
actually crafting new spaces to play these activities in.
That's nice. Yeah.
That's great.
It's good stuff. I'm excited to experience more about it as time goes on. Bruce Grimm,
Bruce Grimm.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
we
for
went
having me
off
again.
on tangents there, man, like crazy.
That's all right.
Sorry.
All good things to talk about, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to? How's
So
life? How are things? What are you
I,
playing? I know you've been spending some time into some specific things. That
right.
Into.
So I've been here. I mean, I was here a couple months ago, right? Since then, again,
Last time we were here was the World of Tanks episode.
yes, correct.
You informed us on World of Tanks.
World of Tanks,
you
one of
there?
the biggest
I was.
MMOs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And funny enough, I mean, we're talking about this later in Gaming Awards, but it actually just won Golden Joystick again for most active players still playing MMO.
Are you tanking it these days?
I'm tanking all
So,
the time.
out of all
I'm still tanking, yeah. So
massively multiplayer online games, World of Tanks has the largest population, hands down.
No, it had the most. It had the most community votes in the Golden Joystick Awards, which are community votes on people voting on games that they are still playing.
Got it.
Right? So
Got
you
it,
have
got
to have had the Joystick Awards. I think the way it works is some of different ones, right? Like your best new game, best single player, best multiplayer, whatever. And it won, I think, for the fourth or fifth, maybe even sixth time. It won the Golden Joystick for active, continued players for, long-time running games. So like D2 has been around, for 2.5 years now, right? Going on 2 years? 3 years, possibly?
For D2, year and a half.
Yeah, year and a
as
half.
a whole since 2014.
Okay, so there you go,
Make that
right?
Argument,
so like if people were still playing, let's say Fallout 76 in 2 years, you could vote on it for the Golden Joystick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. So they gave what I like about it, they partner with Twitch. So they get like loot crates now. So a lot of the games get like, unique unlockables and things like that. I have Amazon Prime, so I have Twitch Prime. So I got free shit, which I'm very happy about. Get you to play, give you some in-game currency and gold, and let you play like premium rental tanks for free. So again, it's drawing me back. And the winter, it's always fun. They have a winter event where like you have to do missions, then you get to decorate like your garage with like Christmas lights and shit like that.
Cool.
It's really like. It's kind of childish, but you get like special rewards.
Yeah,
and
dude, I love that shit. Back when I was playing,
it brings you in again. It's a draw, right? It's something different. So I like
Final
it.
Fantasy 11 is one of the first big like MMOs that I got into, and when they had like a Christmas event, and I could then keep these things, and decorate my little house in this game with these lights all the time, just because I earned this thing during Christmas. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, you got like medals and banners and stuff
GTA
like that, so.
does snow days.
Yeah,
GTA Online.
That's fantastic.
Decorate your apartment.
You
and
have
all that shit.
what's the name of the town? Los Santos.
Los Santos. Yeah.
Yeah, Los Santos is like covered in snow. It snows in LA.
That's cool. But yeah, so I got in Battlefield 5. I'm a big Battlefield player. I'm very excited.
I bought it. It's
you haven't played it yet.
Sit my
What's going
Xbox.
on with
Next week is my Battlefield 5 week.
Yep.
Battlefield 5, baby.
Do you want to come over
We
and sit
saw a
on
lot
live
of
stream
this.
Yeah, if I'm able to, I'll
and
come
watch
over.
me play Battlefield 5?
Yeah, I'll teach you a thing or two. Yeah,
Make fun of me.
A lot of things have changed from Battlefield 1.
This went back to World War
Two.
Two.
Yeah, so it's the first revisiting World War II since, God, the original one.
That was the
Battlefield
hype
1943. Correct, that was the hype. And they really, EA took, there's a lot of things to talk about, but I think from a game design standpoint, a really popular game currently and still is Rainbow Six Siege.
It is, yeah.
And so they took a lot of gameplay cues from that game. So player movement, right? So when you go prone and you move backwards, you can look forward, and then you're actually seeing your legs like you're crawling backwards, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
Very immersive. When you're sprinting and you crouch, you kind of slide. One of the big things too that they change around gameplay from Rainbow Six Siege is where there's no bullet deviation. Where your reticle is when the bullet leaves your gun is where your bullet will hit, and that upset a lot of people. But it made me really happy. I feel like it made it more immersive. It reduced the time to kill and things like that. And
hit scan is what that system was called.
yeah, correct.
Not actual bullet trajectories. You've got to just
Correct.
put your reticle over someone and pull the trigger. You
Yep.
have to worry about if
And there is
bullets
bullet
gonna
drop.
or things like that. Oh,
So
there
there's
is
bullet drop. There's no bullet deviation, right? So sniper rifle 400, 500 yards or whatever, you do have to aim above somebody's head, and the bullet will arc.
Will that change per weapon? Like, is it
Yes.
is it going to work like that for a long range sniper? But if you have just like,
Yeah, so
I don't
bullets
know the
will.
guns in this game, but
Yeah. I mean, they're all World War II guns. So bolt action rifles, semi-automatic rifles, the assault rifle. There's one assault rifle, right? The STG-44.
but there's a
which
point where
was-
you don't really have to calculate.
No, I mean out to about, and this is where really most engagement take place anywhere between 30 to 50 meters, right?
Yeah.
That you put your reticle on somebody and the
That's
bullet
what it
will
is.
hit,
Yeah.
right? But the cool thing too is that just like in real life, there's bullet velocities, right? So things will travel faster and they will drop less. So bolt action rifles, the bullets travel way faster than a pistol round, right? So there is that. But yeah, overall, I think the overall gameplay I'm really happy with. I think they tidied up a lot of things. It came out and there was a lot of criticism for the original trailer around, you had a woman running around with a prosthetic arm and people were freaking out about historical accuracy. And the entire time I was thinking, I was like, it's a game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, let's have some fun with it. It's customization, right? Like
How
Battlefield
dare
1.
there be a robot woman
Correct.
in my
in
video
World
game?
War II, exactly.
My
Well, I
realistic
thought
game
there
I'm
was
playing
some.
from the couch
I
in my
thought there
home.
was some kind of historical precedent
Oh, yeah.
with
Robot women.
no, just where the game takes place. It takes
Yeah.
place in what
In
campaign?
Norway. So it
Yeah,
takes place in Norway. It takes place in...
and they had freedom fighters that were women.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and the Soviets actually had entire regiments and brigades made up entirely of women.
Yeah, so it's just people not knowing history again and being fucking stupid.
Oh, I have an immediate. I'm sorry to deviate.
No,
from
no,
this.
please go ahead.
I have a redaction to make. I said
Oh,
one of the
geez.
three families in this in Black Armory was Norse, French, and Japanese.
Yeah.
It's Norwegian, French, Japanese.
okay,
As
gotcha.
you were talking
So-
about your town,
yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I said
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wrong.
So just more
nationality.
refined. I mean, Norwegians were
Norse
Norse
isn't a
people back in the
nationality.
day,
It's a
yeah.
it's like a. It's not even a.
It's
Religion.
a cultural group.
It's a cultural.
Yeah. From a certain part of the world. I would say Norse people are kind of from the Scandinavian.
say
I,
Say Norse
I
people,
couldn't
huh?
live with publishing this if I didn't fix that. So
fix it right.
I had to.
But it's cool, right? So Battlefield 5 kind of carried on Battlefield's 1 war stories and single player, which was kind of dope, right? Really kind of
Didn't try those.
really. So play them once just to get a sense of it, but they're a lot of fun. I think they're
I
really
did them in
cool.
the previous game in Battlefield
Yeah,
1.
it goes back to what we talked about when I was last on the show, like single player games being pieces of art, right?
Yeah.
That's really what they are. They're very story driven. I mean, and they're cheesy, right? There's the Irish guy's always angry and cursing, and the German guy is stoic and doesn't quite agree with the Nazi regime, right? It's always that very like video game trope kind of people. But
Does the game incorporate the Nazi symbol?
in America, it does. Yes, there are swastikas. I believe so.
Really?
Now that you ask, I don't know if I've come across a swastika
Right.
because the maps.
Call of
So there are
Call
iron-
of Duty withheld swastikas.
Yeah, there are iron crosses on
German tanks.
the
I think
tanks,
that's how
the
they,
airplanes.
Like, that's their symbol for it in these games.
Yeah, I mean the Iron Cross is a real thing, right? It was the Wehrmacht and the Luftwaffe,
but it didn't
and-
represent Nazism.
No, it was
As much as-
it's a military insignia is really
Yeah.
what it was. And it's been military insignia in German history since the
Yeah, it's
17th
no
century.
different than the
Iron
skull on the
Cross.
helmet.
Yeah, but I don't actually know if there's any SS or swastikas. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. I don't know. I don't remember.
I feel like in a game like
What were the guys
like,
with the skulls on the helmet? Hussars? Is that what they're called?
Well, Totenkopf, which means like death head, but they were hussars usually. They were
Yeah.
like elite shock troops, either cavalry or infantry. But
I feel like in a game like this, where you're inviting people to just come in and casually play and have as many people involved in your game as possible, you're going to stay away from that symbology,
Usually.
even though it would be correct
Yeah.
and historically accurate. Unlike
And-
a game like Wolfenstein, where the point of
It's
Wolfenstein
plastered all over the place,
is to
right.
murder
Yes,
Nazis.
correct.
You're going to use that symbol to evoke a feeling as the
Yes,
player and,
right.
and incite this
Yep.
need to like I'm going to fucking
Yeah.
kill this person.
Fucking kill them.
But there is also, and this was something I was going to talk about. The multiplayer is it definitely feels like an incomplete game in terms of content. I will say that.
It's just multiplayer.
but not it's single player and
Oh, is it?
multiplayer.
Okay.
But
That's
it's
what he
not-
was saying. The
Right.
single player are like vignettes. They're
Right,
little
right,
like
right.
Right, they have like 3 acts.
They're
right?
one-
and you're with
one-
a different
one-trick
character
stories, yeah.
correct. But they're neat. They're worth playing. You get some unlocks that you can do with multiplayer. I got one recently where if you play the first campaign is you play as a British SBS, Special Operations Dude, blowing up an airfield. When you unlock all the challenges in that campaign, you get in multiplayer you get a weapon. You get a cricket bat with a chain around
Oh,
it.
that's pretty cool.
So when you melee somebody, it's just the most like disgusting, like blood splatters everywhere because it's literally a fucking cricket bat, like a baseball with a chain around it, and you're beating somebody's head in with it.
That's cool.
When you melee
Amazing.
them. So the unlocks are cool. There's some incentive to play them, but multiplayer is really where
Battlefield 1 have that benefit where you play the single player and gain multiplayer weapons?
No, I think the single player only had just unlocks for
Single player.
for single player and I have trophies, right?
So
If
in
you're a
this,
completionist.
that's a step in an interesting direction.
which is cool. I always like that.
Encourages people to play the single player so that they can get some of the weapons
Yeah.
for the multiplayer.
Yep.
I like that.
But in terms of the multiplayer, they revamped a lot. So I already mentioned kind of the bullet deviation, right? They revamped the classes. So you still have assault, medic, support, and sharpshooter. But it's neat because the classes were revamped to some degree. So assault is kind of the person always in the forefront, got all the explosives, TNT, bazookas, all that stuff. Medic is all SMG based. So it's really they put medic in a class where it is very much a close range class. You're supposed to be in the thick of it, fully automatic weapons, hard hitting, fast firing, you reviving people left and right, and you're on the front lines. Support, right? You give ammo out. You got light machine guns, which you can fire from the hip and aim down sight, and you got medium machine guns like the MG42, Hitler's buzzsaw, which is a pretty cool weapon, firing like 1,200 rounds a minute. Literally sound like paper tearing. Watch some videos on it; it's pretty wild. That's a medium machine gun. You can only fire it if you go prone or you put your bipod down. Otherwise, you're just spraying and praying, which is
Right, it
pretty
just
cool.
kicks too much.
It just literally it's an anti-air gun after a couple
Yeah.
seconds. And then you got scout, right? So you got semi-automatic rifles and bolt action rifles. Them.
yeah, because the medic class in Battlefield 1 had
Yeah.
what did they have?
They had semi-automatic rifles.
yeah.
Which made them one of the most devastating classes in the game because you could two hit headshot anybody in the game with a medic class. So what they
And
did
then you're
now
also a
was,
medic.
and you were a medic, right? So it was really like one of the more powerful classes. And this is where I have some notes. People say that the medic class got nerfed hard in Battlefield 5, and there's a couple of reasons for that. I'll get to them in a second, but it's cool because so they really Battlefield 5 they took a direction where instead of with Battlefield 4 where you had everybody had an assault rifle and you were good in any range, any engagement, they forced you to make conscious decisions when you're attacking or defending or when you're in a gaming situation to pick the right class with the right weapon and loadout, or else you will be punished severely and you will not have a good time. And I've noticed this myself, right? I was playing on an open map on a Ross where I was defending choke points, where there are flags in an open field, and I played as medic. And I was doing great reviving people, but my SMG was useless because it was all open field. Sure, when enemies got close, I was mowing them down, I was reviving people, I was having a great time, but I felt useless 80%
You
of the
couldn't,
round.
like,
I couldn't do
cover-
anything. I
yeah.
was just building fortifications, which is cool, right? I was helping my teammate out. But it really makes you make conscious decisions.
So for that one, what would have been the better fit?
Scout or support, right? Laying down suppressive fire, rearming
Yeah,
people, even assault. So what's cool about the assault is too, and this is where they merged the classes a little bit. They gave assault SMGs, and they also gave him semi-automatic rifles, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because it makes you place assault a little differently. And what's cool about it too, then you have class specializations. So I'll give you an example because this is one I've unlocked is support. You have support gunner and you have like vehicle buster. With vehicle buster, you get like you take less damage from explosions and you do more explosion damage or whatever. And then a support gunner, and this is one of my favorite things about it, is when you suppress an enemy, meaning when you fire several rounds near them, their vision gets kind of blurry. They can't aim down sight properly. They walk slower. All that kind of shit happens to you. It doesn't damage you, but it suppresses you. It also spots enemies. And because the spotting mechanics were changed in BF5 to only scouts can spot with their spotting scope, or when you hit somebody, they get spotted. Support class now is very powerful because as you're spraying an area, you're just spotting enemies for your teammates, and then you can just mow them down. So the changes,
in Battlefield 5, scouts and support can spot.
Correct. Actively. Yeah.
Actively.
Which is neat.
I think there's one thing to clarify for
please.
people who have never played Battlefield games at all. It's important to clarify that in one single match, a person can, when you die, you essentially go out to a load screen to load a different class.
Yeah, it's called
match.
deployment overview, right? And that's actually something that they talked about in the game development a lot too. Is as the battle progresses, right? As you move from a city map, the city part of the map, and assaulting flags to
you're talking about in operations, right?
No, even in a single match, right? Let's say you play what's called front lines, where the battle can move back and forth. You can actually, when you take all the strong points, you have to then blow up objectives. And they're saying, cool, this is open, but the objectives are all close combat. So instead of being a support person with a heavy machine gun, right, when you're assaulting the flags and covering your teammates, well, you don't want to play that when you get to the bomb objectives. You want to play a medic.
Right, bring someone else
to keep the push going, right? You want to play a scout to pick off other machine gunners in the enemy team.
Yeah, so it encourages you.
It's wonderful. I think
these
it's great.
multiple part maps encourage you to just try all the classes
Correct.
and do it all and figure out.
Well, and again, it comes back to what I said first: is you will have a better time and you will do better if you consciously say, "Cool, we don't need a scout right now. We need a support gunner, right? Or we need a medic
for your position all
Correct.
the time." 100%.
Correct.
Yeah, and Country Boy, and that's Country Boy's primary frustration because
Correct.
Country Boy in all previous games was
Played as a medic.
No, he was 100% scout.
Oh, you're right. No, sorry. And that was another big change that I can mention as well.
So he's basically pissed because the game is now forcing him to switch off his gold class or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Can't he just stay as a scout?
You could. Yeah, you could stay as a scout. Sure. But the thing is then when it's all close combat, what are you going to do with a bolt action rifle? Which, by the way, they changed, right? From Battlefield 1, there were sweet spots where if you had a bolt action rifle in a certain specific target range, it would be a one-hit kill no matter where you hit the enemy, torso and headshot.
Oh.
They got rid of that.
Oh, you
so
could
they
just
added a lot of
at that point, probably.
Correct.
Yeah.
They put skill back into it where only a headshot will do a one-shot kill from any range with a sniper rifle. Otherwise, it does about 60 to 65 damage, which still is a two-shot, and they fire pretty quickly if you can re-center your reticle. But it's a lot more skill required.
Yeah.
And I played against snipers who have been intensely frustrating to play against, and I felt like completely outgunned. But then other times I pick up my sniper rifle and I'm just like popping heads left and right when they're assaulting a flag or something. So, no, it's great. I think it really makes you make conscious decisions about your gameplay. And what's cool too is that, they introduced attrition, which we talked about before the show. I'll just mention that briefly. So, and this is where Country Boy's frustration comes in as well, right? With the meta class being nerfed, anybody can pick up a down teammate if you're in a squad.
Yeah.
This is new.
Yeah.
In my mind, this is wonderful because all the Call of Duty idiots who are running around chasing a KDA don't like the game anymore because it rewards squad play.
Yeah.
It rewards balanced attacks and squad play and defensive maneuvers, right?
Yeah, and
if you
I heard
stick together.
there's crews of people in there who are doing that really
Correct,
well.
because what you're doing is you technically don't need a medic. I think a medic is really important because you provide unlimited health packs because attrition is important, and when you are in several firefights, you will not recover all your HP after a while. But in Battlefield 1, squads would literally play with 4 medics, 3 medics and a support, and they would destroy people. Now, all you need is 1 medic, maybe a support and 2 assaults or whatever, and you can keep a push going indefinitely. And I think that's a really good change because it makes you, again, play with your squad and focuses on what makes Battlefield great and sets it apart from Call of Duty is squad-conscious team play, which I love. So I'm very happy about that. And then customization has stayed the same. It was kind of cool what you mentioned with D2. There's some weapon specializations which are neat too, so you can actually have a machine gun you can pick between a bigger mag and less recoil, right? You can on a scout rifle you can pick between a faster re-zeroing and faster moving when scoped versus less upward recoil.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It makes you again like pick
Yeah, you can pick
the way
things
you
for
play,
your play
even
style.
with the same weapon, which is neat. So I like that a lot. Yeah, overall, super happy with the experience. I'm excited. There's an expansion that was dropped today, so several new multiplayer weapons. I have not been able to play it, unfortunately.
Jesus.
Yeah, big patch already today.
Damn.
Um,
Pretty good.
And they didn't.
And I'm very excited.
There isn't
yeah.
a season pass, right?
There's not, which I'm also very happy about. So it's Battlefield 1, because I love the Battlefield series and I'm a sucker for it. I bought the season pass. It was about $50 extra, and you got all the expansions.
Yeesh.
For Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I bought
based
it.
on that price?
I bought it
or-
too.
For having played Battlefield 1, and I can talk about Battlefield 1 because I think I do want to share some good things about kind of closing that game out and it coming to the end of its life cycle. For me, it was worth it. Yes, I played that game. I logged several hundreds of hours of game time.
Yeah.
So it was absolutely worth it for me. I loved it to death. It was a fantastic game. And what really was exciting too is in the last couple months, they removed the paywall, kind of setting themselves up for Battlefield 5, and gave everybody all the expansion and all the weapons, which was neat. And what's crazy about it is the last couple months in Battlefield 1 of its existence, the server population went up like threefold, which was insane, which is amazing.
What drove that?
So a couple of, like, on PS4, it was a free-to-play weekend, so I'm sure people bought it after that.
Yeah.
They had special deals. I mean, it was like $20 at GameStop, right? But I think it was also the fact that they removed the paywall, right? EA said, hey, we're gearing up for Battlefield 5, no more paywalls, no more premium pass. Everyone's going to get everything no matter which version of the game you buy. There's a deluxe edition, so you got early access and you got special game skins and you got more company coin, which lets you buy customization options, right? And get kind of
So it was party
faster
time
weapon progression.
at that
Correct.
point.
Yeah. But it was awesome. It was really, really cool. Good kind of close out to the game. I'm happy it ended on a high note because it was definitely one of my favorite Battlefields. But I think a lot of the hate in Battlefield 5 comes from the fact that Battlefield 3 was kind of the revisitation of the modern shooter from Battlefield 2, and it took a step back from like the futuristic one and the Vietnam one and everything, and Bad Company.
There was a futuristic one?
Yeah, Battlefield 2142.
Never even fucking heard of that.
Yeah, you don't need to hear
no
about it.
idea.
You're good. I'm sorry I mentioned it. Core gameplay wise,
No
again, it was
idea,
great,
dude.
but it was
You knew about that?
No, I
yeah,
had
it
no
had
idea.
fucking laser weapons and like reskin. Let's leave it there.
He used the word.
Reskin.
Full circle.
Yeah, the R word. But Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4, it took a really big leap and kind of equalized a lot of weapons. And that's where Country Boy, we differed as well. I love Battlefield 3. He loves Battlefield 4. And I think our division on Battlefield 1 versus 5 comes from that as well. 1 took a lot from 4, and 5 took a lot from 3. Gameplay wise, weapons wise, class balance wise, the way the game plays out, right? Making conscious decisions about your class and the way you play. And so I think that's why I love Battlefield 5 so much, is because it copied a lot from Battlefield 3 that, in my mind, made that game great in terms of squad play, in terms of whatever, right? Gameplay balance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, there's still bugs. Don't get me wrong. Like the rezzing function is still buggy. You know, I mean, it's only been out for a month, and it's a big multiplayer game, just like Fallout 76, and things are getting fixed. There's already, again, this patch today had a huge weapon rebalance already, so certain guns are getting nerfed, others are getting buffed, as always. But good things are coming,
sure.
right? A lot of new content. Currently, there's also, you only play as the Brits versus the Nazis.
That's the only options that you got?
Yeah. So all the maps are like France, Africa, Belgium, and the Netherlands, and that's it. And so, right, my hunch is that
they're going to come up.
of course, yeah,
a couple of campaigns.
yeah, they're going to have to be Soviets in there, right? Like a Stalingrad map and Kharkov and outskirts of Moscow and Kursk and all that great stuff.
What
like
about the
tank battle maps? Well, and then the
Pacific
Americans,
Theater?
right? And they're going to come out, and I really hope they come out with Japanese and Americans ones as well, because it's cool. Because also your customization options for weapons and classes go by nation.
That's what I'm saying.
So when you play as the Allies, you can have a totally different loadout because you know
It's all based on what they would have used.
exactly right. I mean, you can do that, but just like Battlefield, the weapons are balanced around. Everybody has a starter weapon. It's a Sten gun for the medic, and it's
Yeah.
good. Actually, the starter weapons are amongst the best weapons, which I actually love about Battlefield. Is new players are never at a disadvantage, right? All the customizations are unlocked. You have good weapons right off the gate. In fact, the KE7, the support gun, I have not switched out of it. I play support. That's my main class, and I'm mastering it. So there's special proficiencies you can get like gold magazines and shit like that. It's
Nice.
like all the stupid
Cool.
stuff. But no, Battlefield 5, highly recommend it.
I already bought it.
That's great. I'm excited.
I'm good. You don't have to sell me on that shit.
But PS4, I play on PS4, so I don't know if we can squad up. I apologize.
No.
But yeah. But I'll come by. We'll play it on stream.
Yeah, I think it would be cool for you to sit next to me and just criticize what I'm doing.
I'd watch that stream.
Now
I'd watch a shit out of
Now
it.
I will say Battlefield 5, because of the greatly reduced time to kill, is a lot less forgiving than previous Battlefield
Means I'm going
titles.
to die a lot.
Yes.
It's good. That'll be good for
quick,
the audience.
And quick. And again, the patch today addressed
You know,
time
I'm all
to
about
death.
making good TV.
Yeah.
That's your driving force. No other reason. Just
But it's cool because there's also, this is the final thing I'll say, and I learned this myself, time to death and time to kill is actually different, where time to death is like latency on a server and like suddenly you feel like somebody just one-shotted you. They're fixing that issue as well with this big today patch. I'm excited to go home and play it and figure out what they changed. I'm sure there'll be a lot of stuff that changed, but again, it can only go up from here, and it's already, I think, at a really good, really great place
nice,
in terms
dude.
of the
It's good
Battlefield
to hear because
titles.
I've been in my own little bubble
Yeah.
of the games that I've been playing, so it's good
Yeah.
to, and refreshing to hear your experience.
Yeah, and people that if you have some time on YouTube, the people that I usually follow, they're kind of the people who I take gameplay cues from. I think they've helped me get better. Are what is it? Level Cap, Westy, and Jack Frags. They're in like competitive clans, but they're on douchebags. They'll actually like make it relatable and be like, hey, like this map, play this gun, and they give you really good advice on how to become a good Battlefield player, right? Moving from the Call of Duty experience or other shooter experience like Fallout 76 or Destiny even.
Yeah.
They make it really accessible and they're really good. They release content pretty regularly. So Level Cap, Jack Frags, and Westy, highly recommend those guys on YouTube.
Very cool. Well, I think.
What do you think?
Let's
Yeah.
with the Game Awards coming out on Thursday.
Yeah.
Let's go through the nominations and pick what we think.
You have the time? You have a longer drive than me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. We could probably, if we're
We can do a quick
if
one.
we're efficient about this, we can probably make the episode an hour and a half ish somewhere in
We
there.
can do like a call out, right? You can be like, cool, like game of the year, here are the titles, and then we just say our favorites.
That's exactly what we're
Okay.
going
That
to
could be a
do.
discussion.
Do that.
There were some other like news points, but a lot of those are actually based on rumors of things that might get announced
Mm-hmm.
on Game Awards. So I think we skip going over all the little like minutia of things
Yeah,
that are being discussed.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll just go right into Game Awards. So Game Awards are going to be 8:30 p.m. Eastern time this Thursday.
So
Thursday
when
the
you
6th,
listen to this, more than likely it's tonight.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
8:30 p.m. on yes, Thursday. Sorry,
Yeah.
they were giving
The
times for
6th,
like
right?
Used to
for
be
the
on
UK,
Spike
and I'm like,
TV
I'm
when
like,
that
wait a
existed.
minute.
What channel's it on now?
That's a.
They started on Spike TV. Yeah.
Spike TV.
Spike TV doesn't.
I'm on
exist
IGN's
anymore.
article, and like they're giving you all the places to watch on IGN. But I'm sure if you've got a favorite place to watch
Look for it.
content,
Content.
Thursday,
Content.
it'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess these days it's like with Twitch and Mixer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
I
there.
guarantee.
Watch it on Twitch and Mixer.
Bottom line, a
That's
gamer
your
who's going to be
TV.
watching this is going to be on
Right.
on Twitch or
For
Mixer
any
watching
Game
this.
Awards
Yeah.
show, just watch it on Twitch. There's
free.
no point watching it anywhere
But there's
else.
going to be a lot that people are going to announce because they've been interspersing announcements on these in the past couple of years. Their rumor is that the Avengers 4 trailer is going to drop during this as well for the first time.
Hell yeah.
That's a real thing.
Oh,
You didn't know that?
well, I know it's going to drop on Wednesday. That's what I heard.
Was it Wednesday? I thought it was the Game Awards.
No, they've announced that the Avengers 4 trailer is Wednesday.
The directors of Avengers 4 will be presenters at the Game Awards. That's a confirmed thing. They're not planning on aligning these things up together.
Maybe it's on Thursday. I don't know. You're reading an article. I'm just sitting here like a dumb.
well, now I have to dive into this to make sure I'm saying the right things here.
Yeah, all I've heard is Wednesday. Avengers 4 trailer.
They might be talking about this new upcoming Avengers game, possibly. Like an Avengers online game.
That's
a shared world
at the
situation
Game
here.
Awards. That might be fucking real.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
What?
Well, we'll see. Tune in. Anyway, let's go through the nominations
Yeah.
for what is officially what has been voted on for these categories, and then we'll kind of make some predictions, and we'll see how close we are to the
Yeah,
actual
let's do
awards.
it.
We'll recap in the next week.
I mean, this article says Avengers 4 trailer Wednesday morning.
You would know that better than I would, so I trust you
I've been
on that.
hyped for it all week.
So,
Dude, I watched that fucking Captain Marvel trailer where you got to see her in
Yo,
fucking action.
stop. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
I don't know how. Don't ruin it.
All I was going to say, it's accurate to the comics.
Okay, awesome, cool. Then I'm excited. That's cool.
Please watch it.
Yeah. No, I will.
We're watching it. We're watching it right after we're done.
Perfect. That's
recording
great.
the show.
That sounds great. I'm very excited about
Put
it.
it on the fucking TV out
Sounds
there.
good.
should I go? Here's a question, guys. Should I go like bottom to top because they have like the game of the year at the top? and I could reverse
Oh
it.
yeah,
to
yeah,
make
yeah.
it like-
Bottom to
reverse.
top.
Yeah.
Bottom to top. Yeah.
So there,
We're not going to do best actor at the Oscars
No,
first.
no.
That'd be no one fucking watch it.
the bottom moment is pretty silly here. It's his favorite moment of 2017, as in like something that happened either maybe at the Game Awards last year or just the whole year.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's the Game Awards specifically. I didn't watch like the actual broadcast, so
No.
these are moments that happened during the Game Awards.
Okay.
If you guys didn't watch these, we'll skip these and go right
did
into the
not.
actual like content of things.
I don't know. It's
And speaking of content, our first category we're going to guess on tonight is the content creator of the year. The options are Dr. Lupo, Myth, Ninja, Pokimane, and Wiley Rex or Willy Rex.
I don't watch any of them. Dr. Lupo. That's the only name I recognize.
I think.
So this
I
is.
mean, Ninja is just so transformative.
I don't know how you don't
Right.
go with Ninja for this.
And the thing too, which I really appreciate, and again, I don't watch him much. I watch recordings of him. I don't watch him live ever. I'm not a subscriber. He has, in a good way, I believe, transformed the way streaming can and should be done.
Yes, he's brought a lot of positive attention to
Yeah,
it.
and he's very positive. He doesn't curse much.
I think out of the people that make content and broadcast, he's one of the best
Yeah.
role models you could.
And
you could have.
he's also he's open, right?
Yeah.
He's very community driven. He connects to people.
There have been like
I mean, I would too if I was making $200,000 a month. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
I mean, and of course, there have been moments in controversies, air quotes, and stuff. But like anyone that lives their life as much in the public,
Right.
like you're gonna have moments like that. But he's
Well-
been very like mature about
Correct.
dealing with mistakes and growing. And
Let's put it this way: he didn't go to Japan and videotape a fucking dead person hanging from a tree.
he didn't do that.
Yeah, so
No.
that's a low bar to go beyond. But
did
yeah,
not
I know about that guy.
yeah.
What's that fucking dude's name? Logan something.
Logan Paul.
Okay, he's gonna be like,
I'm
let's
sorry.
not even-
I'm sorry.
Dumb say.
He, yeah.
I
he
know.
wanted
I was
to-
like,
yeah.
let's not just give him. You know, everyone knows who it is. Fucking anyway. Yeah, the only other person like you, Felix, that I know on this list is Dr. Lupo because he came from Destiny, from the Destiny community. And now he plays with Ninja. He's like one of Ninja's
Yeah.
main like buddies.
Super famous, man.
I'm like, Ninja's been around for years. I know Locke like has familiarity with Ninja and has watched him multiple years. I'd say Dr. Lupo has more of a tie to me, and I'm just stoked to see him have as much success
Yeah.
almost as Ninja has. But I think the year's been dominated by him and where he's taken streaming.
I really hope it's not Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't know what
Fucking don't know who that guy is.
I know. It's Pokemon
lady.
is a she.
It's
yeah.
a she.
I don't know what she did to
She
be
plays
voted
League of
on
Legends,
to be this,
which is,
content
I mean,
creator of
the
year. League's had a
largest
pretty big year
esports,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
He always has big years.
These next ones, I don't know any of these, but I'll read them out loud to see if you guys either know or if listeners out here would like to make their own decision. Best esports moment of 2018. This was C9's comeback win in triple overtime versus FaZe, G2 beating RNG, KT versus IG base race, OG's massive upset of LGD, or Sonic Fox side switch against Go1 in DBZ.
Do we know what games they were played in?
Some of these say the game, like the last one mentions the DBZ,
DBZ.
Fighters game, or Fighters.
I think
Z.
the
not all of these don't.
the first and third one I think are League of Legends moments, which I remember both of them if they are because the team names also correspond to that.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't comment on this. I have to abstain because I just
Those,
don't.
if it's easier to read, I'll show you the list right there.
Yeah,
I have
G2
I have literally no comment on this one.
Yeah, G2 beating
No comment.
RNG is definitely League of Legends, and I think KT versus IG in base race is also League of Legends. I watched G2, and I think they actually won Worlds in League of Legends, and they
Okay.
were like, I mean, it was like the underdog story. It was a Cinderella story because they also kind of came out of nowhere. Again, I don't know the other places, so I don't know if I can. I feel like I should abstain, but
Yeah, they're all esports heavy.
but that was a fucking great moment
These first couple of decisions.
watching it. So I didn't watch it live. Again, I watched highlights, but
Yeah.
that was a fantastic.
Are you
just a good
familiar
season.
with esports coaches? Or I'm
No.
sorry, esports hosts?
No.
Okay, so we'll skip that. We'll skip. There's actually a coach category too. So I'm gonna read these for you guys out there listening
Yeah,
to
yeah.
this. We're not gonna vote on these because we have zero familiarity. The best esports host nominees are Alex Golden Boy Mendez, Alex Machine Richardson, Anders Bloom, Ify, FJ, FA.
Who are all these people?
Hosts.
Oh, I-
Portere.
I should know about
butchered
these
the
people.
shit out of the name. Not necessarily. Depends on what.
I just don't
what
watch
they comment.
esports.
Paul
Oh, I'm terrible.
Red-Eye
I'm a horrible gamer.
Shaloner. Shaloner is the other host. And then going over to coaches, these are the nominees for Best Esports Coach. Bach Reaperd Han Gyu, Christian, there's two P's, P. Passarel, Bonasianu, Danny Zonic Sorensen, Dylan Falco, Jakob Yamato Cannon, Medby,
Great star,
Janko
StarCraft reference.
YNK, Paunovic.
The Yamato cannon.
If any of these guys listen to our podcast, I apologize for misspelling your name
Yeah,
and also not
sorry.
knowing your profession.
I mean, it just sounds like you're reading like computer code. Like,
And today in Python coding.
This one will be, again, more for Bruce Graham here.
Yeah.
Best esports event.
Okay. We hear it.
We've got the ELOG Major, Boston 2018, EVO 2018, League of Legends World Championship, Overwatch League Grand Finals, the International 2018. Which of those would you say?
So again, I only saw clips from three. I saw the Overwatch, League of Legends, and what were the other three?
There's one just called the International 2018.
No, I did not watch that one.
There's EVO 2018.
Evo, I think I saw. Yeah, I
And
think I
then,
saw Evo.
ELOG. It's not E-League, it's ELOG. It's
Yeah.
ELAGUE Major, Boston 2018.
Yeah. I just, maybe I'm biased. I said I've been playing League of Legends since like season 2. Since pretty much it was in beta almost. I love that G2 won. I think it's just a fantastic.
You play League of Legends?
I don't want to say I played actively because I play like 2-3 games a week. And they're long games, they're like 20 to 40 minute games. But I do play. I watch streamers from that game.
Didn't know.
It's a game that stuck with me. I keep not playing for like months, and then I play a couple of games. It's just fun to come back to. It's a really old. I played it since college. I mean, I kid you not, I've been playing it for 10 years since season 2. It's just a lot of fun.
It's a MOBA.
It's a MOBA. It's pretty much based on like Defense of the Ancients, Dota, like Dota 2. Right, Dota and Dota 2.
I
Lane
went-
defense with a jungler, team based.
Went through a period trying to.
It's a lot of fun.
Trying to play those games, and they don't click for me. I see the appeal
Yeah.
100%, but I spend a lot of time with Heroes of the Storm, trying to
Oh, yeah.
really get into that
Yeah,
groove.
yeah,
I just don't like the MOBA vibe. I see the appeal,
Yeah.
for sure. It's very strategic. It's
Yep.
very esports friendly because you can iterate on what you know and make strategies, and there's not a lot of randomness, which I think
Yep.
we'll get to this. Why I'm kind of delineating this
Mm-hmm.
because we're going to get to a question about best esports game and some of the games I don't agree with that are on that
Gotcha.
list, but we'll get to that point.
Yeah.
The only other two specific people and team related questions, we have best esports team and best esports player. So let's rip the bandit off of these really quick and we can get into the actual games. Best esports team, Astralis, Cloud9, Fnatic, London Spitfire, or OG. Any of you guys have opinions on any of these esports teams?
I mean, I know Fnatic and Cloud9 are like, I mean, they're like perennial names in esports,
Cloud9 you always
right?
hear
They
all over the
have,
place.
and they play, I mean, they compete in Counter-Strike, League of Legends, World of Tanks. I mean, they're literally everything. And they have like junior league teams and shit like that.
Yeah.
They're just a staple of the gaming industry at this point. I mean, they're edifices, they're part of it. So
For sure. So at this point, this is really just for you listeners out there at home.
Yeah.
You're going to make your decisions Thursday morning and see how well you do because we don't have familiarity with these. But the last one that we're going to hit.
Well, can I defend myself just a little bit?
why do you feel bad about this?
I
I don't
don't
feel
That's
bad.
a lot of shit. Oh,
I was going to say the reason why I don't know enough about any of this is because the sport part of esports is what I don't care about in life. Like you're a big fan of like the Flyers and you're a big fan of like the Phillies, and I'll go to games, but I'm not there for the competitiveness of it. Like I'm there for the spectacle of being in a big
competitiveness
place.
in games has no.
Like I don't really have an interest in competitive gaming.
Okay.
At all.
That's fair.
And I'm not saying that that's not valid. Like
No,
if
of course
you're
not.
into that, you know, it's,
I don't think
it's
anyone
huge
at home
and-
was listening like, you know what? I'm fine with everyone else, but I really would wish Felix would defend himself here.
would like
I'm
no,
upset
or
that he
I really
feels
wish
this way.
Felix would like competitive gaming, but he
I don't-
can't.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think anyone
There's
would.
just nothing in my
No, that's
body.
fair. Yeah.
Like even when I play a game like because we talked about it earlier
Yeah.
extensively, Battlefield 5, I'm not there for the competitive nature of the game at all. I'm
Right.
there for World War II. That's it.
That's
I want to
fine.
be in World War II. Like so, that's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that's what my thing. It's escapism.
I hear
not
you.
competition.
Yeah.
I hear you.
You know, so I'm not criticizing anybody who values this.
No,
you know?
as you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Then we get best esports player. These are the nominees for best esports player: Dominique Sonic Fox McLean, Hajime Tokido Taniguchi,
StarCraft.
Jian Uzi Zihao,
Yeah, League of Legends, easy. Yeah.
Alexander Simple Kostalev, Sunghyun Jejo Nak Bang. So if you know who those players are,
The only person from the list
Pick
is
your favorite.
Uzi, and he is one of the all-time greatest attack damage carry League of Legends players in the
we're
world.
going to go with Uzi.
Yeah, gonna go with Uzi.
Uzi sounds good.
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
I'm going with Bruce Grimm.
Brat.
Big surprise here. I just found out that Bruce Grimm played League of Legends.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
didn't even know that.
Speaking of that, now we're going to get into the best esports game. These are the
All right.
5 nominees.
Well, Fortnite, right?
CSGO, Dota 2, Fortnite, League of Legends, Overwatch. If it were up to me, I would say either League or Overwatch,
Yeah.
based on how
My-
games are currently being consumed.
So one of my somebody I know actually organizes and globally the CS:GO scene, and he does all the esports, Krakow tournaments, all that stuff.
Now, CSGO is a staple.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's really and I'm gonna go with CS:GO, and here's why. This game has been around since like 1999.
Yeah,
in
like,
a
it's-
pretty much an unaltered state.
Changed, yeah.
And it's one of these games where, from a gameplay perspective, there is a ceiling that you reach when you understand every map and every nook and cranny and every weapon and recoil and all that stuff. Right? There's no randomness to it.
as
but
any
yet-
high-level sporting event gets
Correct.
to be.
And that's why I appreciate it so much. There is no weirdness, randomness to it. It's very straightforward, very linear in a way, and it comes down to, at a certain level, it is a pure expression of skill.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to have to go with that.
That's actually a really good and convincing argument. I might have to change my mind.
The current game they're
And I can make the same point for Fortnite too, right? But like I feel like in CS:GO,
I feel like the opposite happens with Fortnite. The entire premise
That's
of
true,
Fortnite
yeah, because there's spawns.
is everything
Yeah,
is
you're
random.
right,
You
you're
could be in a
right.
tournament,
No, you're right.
fall in, and just not find a gun. It
Yeah.
could literally be a thing that happens, and then you're out because you didn't have a gun.
No, you're
That
right.
to me should disqualify it from this
Yeah.
entire category.
You're saying the version of CS:GO they're playing right now is from 99, or
No,
they've
I'm
come
saying
out with multiple
Counter
versions?
Strike as a game,
As a
right?
game,
Counter Strike came out in 98 or 99, I think.
Yeah, it's
Hit
sometime in
ancient
the late
history.
90s.
It was came out with Half-Life. Right? It was
Right.
based on the Half-Life engine. It came out, Counter-Strike. Had bots in it, which was just amazing. That's what I did. Played against bots. And really, the maps stay the same. Like you have the Italy map, which is a staple of that game series. And there have been some tweaks to it, right? To fix some firing lanes and whatever. But the gameplay of Counter-Strike has not changed. It's amazing.
Got it.
That's a really good point. I would have gone with Overwatch because it's the one that I have the most familiarity with, but it's also a good balance between action and choosing your
Counterplay.
team.
Yes.
Counterplay for sure, because
Yes.
again, you can
Counterplay.
adjust on the fly.
Yep.
You die, you can respawn as a different character. You can adjust your strategy, and it's another set like arena. Like you know what these character skills are. You know how they should be used. You know the maps. And
It's
then-
actually a lot like League of Legends in that way.
yeah,
It's a lot like League of Legends.
especially with all the different skills your
Yes.
characters can use.
Yes.
I mean,
The only difference is that in League of Legends, you can pick any character on any map. Well, there's only one map, but on any character can be played any time.
Yeah.
As long as just not on the
well, I was
same,
going
on
to
the
say,
same
like
team.
the
but-
game Overwatch coming out seemed like it was built to be a game for an arena. Like in its development, they wanted it to be something that grew to a next level.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of like esports.
Right.
It might, you might be so bold to say that it was built to be an esports game.
I think it was.
Oh,
I think it
100%.
was made for
100%.
that, yeah.
Like they not
You
only
can't
set
go
up
in and
the
just
game-
play it by yourself because you're not
Right.
going to have a good time. You have to have a team around you.
right, and that's why I don't have
Yeah.
fun playing it.
Yeah, I don't either. So
So I'm not saying anything to all you people out there who love the game. I just
So let's. Who are we going to go with as a? We don't have to actually land on one as a show. I'm going to go with Overwatch. I think your CS:GO.
I'll go with
I'll go with
Overwatch
CS:GO.
too.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a very well articulated argument.
and the Swedes
I'll let
always
you
win
run
in it. Like the best player in the world, so they're just like really super like chill about it. They're just like,
Swedish
oh yeah, I
pe-
did all
Swedish-
right in the game, and I got some headshots, and I yeah, it was a good round for me. Yeah,
Nailed
thank
it,
you,
dude.
thank you. They're like super humble.
I just play, man.
Oh God! I just
my mother
I watched,
called me on my
dude,
cell
the
phone and I
funniest
talked to
thing-
her a little
Sorry.
bit.
Yeah, totally.
She congratulated
I'm
me.
remembering this right. Like the Skarsgård family, they're all like Swedish.
Yeah.
I was watching Alexander Skarsgård. You know,
Oh,
who's
they're
Tarzan.
Danish or Swedish. Yeah, one of the two.
No,
yeah.
I think they're Swedish.
Yeah.
Tarzan.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm watching him in an interview, and he was talking about how there's like this, and I don't know the Swedish. He said whatever, but the basic implication, there's this kind of idea that you never should take like be in the center of the spotlight. Basically, this kind of idea, and all Swedish people are ingrained with this,
Like humbleness, right?
Right.
Humility.
So
humility.
he has this like huge duality in his life where half of his life is he has to be in the center of the spotlight, and the other half is mentally inside. He's like, like completely wanting to tell people to not do this. Don't make him the center of attention.
There was an episode of
he's torn in this.
That's great.
This dichotomy of like, oh shit, like what am I going to do? They're, like
That's
he
great.
doesn't want to thank people for anything.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
because he doesn't want to be in the spotlight. It's crazy.
There was an episode of Parts Unknown, Anthony Bourdain's travel show, his more recent one, where he went to, I believe it was Sweden, and talking to the people there, that was literally part of the conversation. Like, hey, you went and like made your own restaurant that was so against the grain of what was happening here. Like, how did that feel? Because that's very anti-culture here.
Yeah.
Like putting yourself or your idea.
They don't
and
want to take credit for
splitting out.
anything.
And the guy was like uncomfortable talking. He's like, yeah, I know. It's like it was like tough to actually get that done. So it's aligning with that whole
Yeah.
whole conversation.
It's funny how we talk about Anthony Bourdain when I made a joke about a Swedish CS:GO player. That's
This is how the world works.
that's how the work. This is how
I
this
love
podcast
Anthony
works.
Bourdain, dude. I
Oh
love
yeah,
it.
rest in peace, man.
Yeah, dude, seriously. All right. Best debut indie game. Here's are the nominees for best debut indie game. Oh, I'm sorry, real quick. I have a correction for my correction.
Okay.
The first thing I said originally was correct. It's a Norse family, not a specifically Norwegian family.
All right. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Which
Again,
does not
You
exclude them
redacted
from
your
being Norwegian,
redaction.
yeah.
I did.
right.
I did. Again, couldn't live with myself.
Unpurge the purge.
Yeah.
Funny.
Best debut indie game nominees: Donut County, Florence, Moss, The Messenger, Yoku's Island Express.
I've not played any of them, so I will remain silent.
The one I haven't played these specifically, but I've watched a couple of these. The one that I was most excited about and actually would still love to play is Donut County. Donut County is a game where you play as a hole. You play as a hole in the ground, and you have to swallow things in the hole, and everything that you swallow makes the hole a little bit bigger. So you can't obviously swallow the house first. You got to swallow the bug, and then the pair of scissors.
This is like that-
and
that-
something
that-
else, and then you swallow bigger and bigger things, and the hole
This
gets
is that,
bigger.
that PS2 game where you're a ball and you keep getting bigger, and it's the weird Japanese
Katamari.
Katamari.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're not a ball; you're a hole. That's fantastic.
Donut Hole sounds amazing, and I'd love to play it one day.
You know, there's an iOS game, Hole.io. That is,
Oh, is there?
that is that.
It's that?
Yeah.
You said Donut Hole. It's called Donut County.
Donut County, yeah.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Very simple.
I'm terrible.
Game
I think that's
concept,
the
but-
best debut
yeah.
indie game.
Fantastic. All right, we're gonna go with Donut.
I don't know any of those
Donut
titles,
County?
so we're good. I'm terrible.
It's fine.
I also don't
Here's-
play. I don't play indie games either.
Here is another category you're going to know nothing about, but it's fine because I'm not going to know anything either. I don't think any of
Love
us
it.
here are.
Love it.
Best student game nominees for best student game:
All right,
Combat 2018, Dash Quasar, Jira, Lif, RE:charge.
Recharge. Don't know any of them. Gotta abstain.
Abstain.
Well, Combat 2018 sounds like it's a remake of the Atari game.
I was going to say it sounds very Atari, where just like a thing the year.
Yeah.
Driving.
Well,
Like
then
Battlefield
we'll go with
2142, the one we
Combat
don't
2018,
talk
I used to
about.
play the original Combat on Atari all the time.
There you go. All right. Best multiplayer game.
All right.
Now we've hit a wide category.
Yeah.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
No.
Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, Monster Hunter World, Sea of Thieves. I personally played all of these except Black Ops 4, but I've watched friends play a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it's really at this point just Black Ops version of a battle royale.
Reskin.
Yeah. Reskin. Conceptual reskin. I've heard
Right.
it's very, very, very good. And I heard it.
Yeah, the battle royale mode has. I've heard multiple people, streamers and people that I follow on YouTube and whatnot, say that it's a near perfect execution of
It's
the
like
battle royale mode.
everything that
Like everything that we
that
learned from
PUBG
PUBG
should be, yeah.
and Fortnite and all the other battle royale modes, they've done right.
yeah.
And they did a leg up, sure, but they executed flawlessly. And I'm actually excited. Later on, Battlefield 5 is getting a battle royale mode. It's still in testing right now.
I'm going to play that.
And that, if they can emulate Call of Duty on that and get that gameplay right, I'm very excited. I don't like battle royale generally speaking, but I'm excited about it.
I'll put the nominees here so we
Yeah.
can
I don't have an
referring
interest
to
in
them.
any battle royale because I don't like competitive gaming.
Yeah.
I'll say that again.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to be playing that for World War II again.
Yeah. From what I haven't played any of these, but
Yeah.
from based on what I've been able to see streaming wise, Sea of Thieves just looked fucking hysterical. Like a lot of fun. Just like genuinely like bringing out the laughter.
I had no interest in the artwork.
Right.
That was me. But
you
enjoyed
didn't?
it.
Okay. I liked it. Yeah.
Sea
I
of
like
Thieves
that.
had some problems in terms of like again content and
Right.
not having enough to do. If you had the right people, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
for sure. I played a little bit of it.
But again, multiplayer, right?
Yeah.
You got to squad up.
Yep.
But-
I would. You know where I'm going to land. I'm going to say
Destiny,
Destiny 2 for
and I was
Forsaken.
going to support
Yeah.
you on that because I do have experience playing Destiny, and one of the best things that Destiny has always done is balance PvE and PvP perfectly.
Yep.
And those other games just don't.
Fortnite is what it is. It's
Warlock.
fun to hop in, hop out.
No.
Warlock.
Well,
Blink,
sorry,
Blink
Monster
jump
Hunter
shotgun.
is Monster Hunter more? There's no PvP in Monster Hunter.
There's
Well,
not-
it's just
there's not
multiplayer game,
PvP,
right?
but you would hunt monsters together.
Correct.
And here, I wouldn't say that is the best multiplayer game out of all of them because you can do all that on your own. You're just bringing
Yeah.
people into your world. You don't actually have things to
right.
do that you can only do with friends.
But I'm
or-
saying, like all the games on there, the only one that does PvE and PvP, because we've had this argument on the show about best multiplayer game, and I've always
So-
believed that a multiplayer game has to have both.
I don't. So I'm going to say
Co-op
this
and PvP.
without knowing a date. But apparently, Sea of Thieves does have PvE content
And this is,
as well as existing in a world,
but
with
it's
just
not, or we don't even know if it's going to be good.
PvP by itself.
Right.
So the only game on there that does PvP,
No, Destiny 2. I can agree with that. Yeah.
PvP and PvE well,
Yeah.
both of them well, is Destiny.
Destiny 2 Forsaken. That's what we're going with.
Out of the list that's there, you know.
Now we're going to move on to best sports/racing game. I think this is a very unfair category here. You're putting sports
Yeah,
and
that's
racing games
strange.
together. But here's the category we're going to work with.
Love the third
Best sports/racing game. FIFA 19, Forza Horizon 4, Mario Tennis Aces, NBA 2K19, Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. Now
We'll go
I
with
feel
Forza.
like Forza is
It's just a
is at a
staple.
it's at a disadvantage being in this group because I think it did a lot of great things for driving, especially like it's an open world game now where
Yeah.
it's changing seasons. It's very cool. But
Well, and
if
you can
we're-
also play it as a simulator where it's realistic, or you can play it as a very arcadey, like take no damage when you hit a wall. right?
sometimes they split those series out. There's Forza Motorsport, which is more like very hard.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah.
Specific driving. Horizon is more like
You're
freeform,
right.
more fun.
No, you're right.
Still, Horizon looked great when I was watching a lot of it being played. But if you're on this list, if this is your category to work with, I got to go with FIFA 19
Yeah.
Same here.
as being the best of these
Yeah.
games.
Well, only because I know I've played multiple years of FIFA, and I don't like sports games, and I play FIFA.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a selling point for you, honestly.
And what's
ju-
crazy
you-
about FIFA as well is, so this is a game that comes out every year, right? Because of new teams and new players, and it gets better every year.
yeah,
It's
it's
just
in a great
fantastic
spot
what they've
right now.
done with the game series. Too.
It's been 5 years since I bought a FIFA game, but
yeah, it's always worth
I
revisiting.
never have a problem playing FIFA if anyone wants to come over and play FIFA. The only other sports game I'm thinking about getting is Don Bradman's Cricket, just because I don't know how to play cricket and I want to know how to play it.
Please stream that.
I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm getting it for streaming.
All right, we're gonna try to move the clip up a little bit of coming through these because I know we're already past the hour and a half mark for the
Yeah.
episode. Best family game: Mario Tennis Aces, Nintendo Labo, Overcooked 2, Starlink Battle for Atlas, or Super Mario Party.
It's a time for me between Overcooked 2 and Super Mario Party.
I didn't play all those games. I played Overcooked 2, and I played it with my family. So the answer is Overcooked 2.
I would pick Super Mario Party
Yeah.
because it's fucking Mario Party.
Yeah.
Now I haven't played it myself specifically. I actually have played Starlink Battle for Atlas, but that game to me, while it could be a kid-friendly game, it's more like a single-player
Right.
No Man's Sky.
It's
on
weird
the
that it's
Switch.
even on the list.
So that's
Weird,
not like
okay.
a family game.
Cool.
But Mario Party is like overcooked.
fucking
in
Mario
this,
Party.
Mario Party is like overcooked in the sense that there's 4 controllers.
You could
and
all do something.
Everyone does something.
Or this is just throwing a wrench in the works. Nintendo Labo is like it's the cardboard game. It's the cardboard building. Maybe you build that with your family, or
Yeah.
your daughter, your son, whatever, and just like create something. That's a cool experience.
Yeah.
I would still pick Mario Party though. That's my vote.
I still haven't considered even what Mario Party is, but I guess maybe I should buy that.
You don't know what
Dude,
Mario Party
you're
is?
missing out.
I haven't seen it. We didn't
Ever?
really talk about it on the show.
Don't say anything. Yes, you should buy it.
Is it like
ever?
$80 though, or $60
No,
or whatever?
it's 60.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
normal
I
game.
fucking can't buy that. I'll do it later.
Have you ever played Mario Party? Like ever?
No.
What? Oh my god!
In the history of life,
Yeah, in the history of life.
like previous versions, no.
I played on the N64. The
I was going to say, I'm going to bring
original
over
one. Oh my
a 64. We're going to play this on the N64.
I never even heard of it until
You're gonna
this
get
year.
you're gonna get blisters on your palm when you play the fishing game and the rowing
just
game.
fucking rotate the
I never
joystick
heard of
crazy.
Mario Party until literally this year because I bought a Switch. Like,
That's
Dude.
fucking insane to me.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, don't apologize.
we literally
we're gonna
my friends
educate
and I
you. We're gonna
in
educate you.
4th grade.
I was drunk. I was getting laid. That's what I was doing.
What makes you think I wasn't right after the Mario Party game?
Right. You had to play that.
Whoever
You don't
won.
have to delineate between these
Yeah.
experiences.
They're not mutually exclusive.
It's a lot of drinking and a lot of sex involved in Mario Party.
It's
For
funny.
some people, I'm sure. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Cool.
Best fighting game. BlazBlue
I think the
Cross Tag Battle.
what year did the game I love come out?
Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Soul Calibur 6. Street Fighter 5 Arcade. I'm not a fighting game fan. I'm going to have to
Yeah.
abstain from this.
Abstain.
What game are you looking up? You looking up Injustice?
Yeah.
Why is it Injustice on this list?
Sir Felix.
Yeah. Why in the fuck? Well,
Didn't that come out?
when
No, you were playing Injustice when I was still in California, which was
yeah, they're talking
2017.
about 2018 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I thought Street Fighter 5 say Street Fighter 5's on there?
Yes.
I could have sworn that came out in 2017. I don't know. I'm
I don't know
confused.
for sure. Best VR/AR game. Astrobot Rescue Mission. Beat Saber. Firewall Zero Hour. Moss. Tetris Effect.
Abstain.
Only one I know on there is Beat Saber because Neo did a spot on it on our show and said it was
remember.
amazing. So we'll say Beat Saber.
I've heard really good things about Tetris Effect too, but it is just Tetris. And so Beat Saber would be more of a revolutionary idea. Air quotes. Beat Saber. All right, best mobile game. Donut County.
Hey.
Florence. Fortnite. PUBG Mobile. Reigns. Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Donut count.
I
Let's
played
go with
PUBG. That's the only one I played. So, but I got to abstain.
I mean, it's not a mobile game, but like Fortnite on the Switch might be the best experience out of all of these games.
Yeah.
Or Donut County, either one of those. I mean, if you're looking for
Donut County.
a mobile game.
Donut County it is.
County.
I'm going to
Donut
fucking download
A lot
it
of
now.
love for the Donut County. Don't do it there. Get it on your Switch. Probably a better experience.
Oh, better experience
Yeah.
on the Switch. Yeah, I'll get it there.
I hate touchscreen phone controls. It lets me or leads me to abandon a game, no matter how good the game is.
Yeah, I hear you.
I wish I could get down with it, but I can't.
No, it's not for everybody. I can't agree with
Games
that.
for Impact. 1111 Memories Retold. Celeste. Florence 2. Sorry, Florence. Life is Strange 2. The Missing. J.J. Macfield and The Island of Memories. Now, I've played none of
Abstain.
these games. I've heard the most.
Those are called games for impact, though.
like
That's
Celeste.
that's a title I never heard.
I've heard a lot of Life is Strange 2 is like you're experiencing the story. I would put the only game that I played that's like this, or at least like Life is Strange thematically, is Gone Home. Did I ever talk about Gone Home?
Yes,
It was a free PlayStation
we
game.
talked about it on the show.
Yeah, you come home. You're a girl who's coming home from college,
Yeah.
and you're coming home to a new house because your family moved while you were at school, so you don't know anything about the house.
Right.
You find the key to get in, and no one's home. You have to essentially root through the house to find out and piece the story together of where your family went. But along the way, you as a player learn about this person, their family, their relationship, their sister, their mom, dad. It's an amazing
Yeah, it's wild.
experience, but it's just that you play it and there's really no replay value unless you want to like trophy hunt and finish it
Yeah,
at a
yeah.
certain percentage. But it's just really about
Oh.
experiencing that person's life.
It reminds you of I think it might have been 2017 about Senua Hellblade.
Yeah, I'm very surprised Hellblade is not on that list for.
It might have been
for
2017.
The experience. Oh yeah, it might be too.
It was.
But that game was
Would be. It was probably on the Games for Impact list
unbelievable.
last year.
Senua's
and it was
looked that
made
up.
by a 20-person studio.
It was small, yeah.
And it had like no bugs in it. Like I
Yeah.
mean, it was so refined. It was just beautiful. I mean,
Yep.
and the great thing is,
Ninja Theory is the name of the company.
Yeah, I watch a streamer who played it, and he said it's like the psychosis effect. It's like that's what I feel like.
Yeah, people
did-
have given it like rave reviews about illustrating an experience properly.
Right. I mean, really, I'm sure it was 2017. Otherwise, it would have been on there. But
Next up, we have the nominees for Best Performance. These are actors that play characters in a video game. Brian DeChart as Connor in Detroit Become Human. Christopher Judge as Kratos in God of War. Melisanthe Mahut as Cassandra, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2. Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker, Marvel's Spider-Man.
gonna have to go with boy.
Christopher Judge. He was Teal'c if you watch Stargate.
We talked about this last time I was on.
Damn it, I forgot about that, dude. Why did we talk about
Stargate.
Stargate last time we were here?
I don't know. We talked about
That's so
It
funny.
might have been off the podcast itself, but we talked about Stargate, and it's
Love Stargate.
It's just the greatest show of all time.
I'm going to go with Roger Clark for Arthur Morgan because I don't know, man. The voice acting in those games, in that game specifically, because I watched a lot of
Which one?
cutscenes of Red Dead
Dead.
Redemption 2. Yeah, I watched a lot of Detroit, trying to decide if I wanted to play it or not. Kratos is great. I can't fault Kratos at all. I have no familiarity with Cassandra. Every time I've watched you, Felix, you've never really been in cutscenes. It's all been action oriented stuff. So I have no experience with
I've
Cassandra.
literally played. I've literally played only 3 chapters of that story. My proximity play now is taking me nowhere near any story missions, so like I can't get back.
You're stuck.
Wow.
Forever.
My proximity has me like somewhere in the middle of the map. I'm down by Sparta, and I'm nowhere near any of my missions.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
And I've heard great things about the Marvel game.
You know
but
what level I am?
a lot. Probably.
61.
Jesus.
What's the
You played
max?
3 chapters.
70.
Oh my god.
And I have only.
You're just
played-
going to start the story and just like one hit people.
I'm already doing that. I do $250,000. $50,000. $250,000.
What are you, SEPTA? $250,000 worth of damage.
Yeah, I do 250,000. I do 250,000 damage on every assassin kill.
Jesus.
Yeah, things die quick.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Anyway, I'm going with Roger Clark.
So
Yeah.
am I. I mean, there's so many little like funny ass like weird lines like under his breath.
Yeah.
That he fucking says to
Yeah.
like NPCs that are fucking wacky and
I know.
insane.
It's great.
Yo, did you do the one where the fucking incest brother and sister like capture him?
Well, they drug him and take his money, and then
Yeah.
you go back and kill them.
No, I haven't gotten that
So
far.
so you can send your way all the way through it, and they drug you and take your money and shit. And then what's even weirder is if you let a day pass, you go back and talk to them, and they're still there, and they're like saying all this weird shit to him again.
Yeah.
Like it's super
They
weird.
forget about you, right? Because they're fucked
Ugh.
up and incestuous. So
Well, best independent game.
Yeah,
Nominees
back to
for
that.
the best indie game here. We've got Celeste,
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells, Intro, The Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn, or The Messenger.
Yeah, it's definitely Dead Cells.
yeah, I've only seen or played Dead Cells, so
The splash the Dead Cells made this year, I think, deserves.
Fucking outstanding.
Best audio design: Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, Forza Horizon 4, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm honestly upset, kind of, that Destiny 2 is not on this list.
Yeah,
Why?
because it does have really good audio.
It's got amazing, not only sound effects but cues,
like ambient noises,
ambient noises, the
very immersive.
proper like channeling for what you're hearing where you are proximity wise,
Nice.
and the music alone
Yeah. Oh.
of these games.
Yeah, I mean,
is so
Bungie
moving.
always is fantastic
Yeah.
with music. So
I'd have to go with Red Dead though for this list because
yeah,
of
agreed.
just the immersiveness of that world, and you're hearing all the bugs, the animals,
Yeah.
the twigs snapping.
Well, if you're walking through the city and you
life,
just
the
stop,
world, the,
it's like a cart, a horse, a donkey,
the mud
people
slush, the
fighting.
footsteps, the,
It's
yeah,
just it's
glass
wild.
breaking,
I mean,
the-
everything.
yeah.
You're in a world. Yeah,
And
it's
I mean, in
wild.
terms of audio design, I don't know if you get much better than that.
No. I agree.
We've got best score / music. So okay, we maybe don't have to put Destiny in audio design, but for music, I'm sad that it's not.
Yeah.
Here. But I'm a fanboy. Celeste, are for the nominees. We have Celeste, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man,
God of War.
Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption 2.
I'm only naming the ones that I actually have the soundtrack for in my fucking phone.
Yeah.
I can't get the soundtrack for Red Dead Redemption 2 because it's not offered because they recycle a shit ton of audio tracks in that world.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2's music and its score is great for what you're playing, but to me it doesn't stand out as like an incredible score for a game.
I mean, God of War. I played it since God of War 1. I played every single game, and I'm waiting on 4 to arrive.
Probably some amazing epic.
It's all. I mean,
moments.
Every single
like moments where
soundtrack is just the music. It's funny, like the guy. Someone figured out a way to play it without the music, and it's like this game sucks.
Wow, that's really funny.
You like just hacking and slashing, right? But then the music plays, and yours is the most epic fucking fight in the world, right? You're fucking fighting Poseidon.
Like I said, it has these really. It's really balanced in the sense that it isn't all that. There's these subtle, and I don't even know what they're called in music composition, but like there's these moments where the game just does this like shit with like a weird instrument, like, and you're just like, is that what am I hearing? Is that a sound effect? No, that's like some kind of like,
yeah.
I don't know, like
it's intentional to like fuck with you a little bit, yeah,
and it has these moments when it just does that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to abstain, or at least I'll back up your God of War score.
God of War was great.
I wish that I played Ni no Kuni 2 because
I'm sure they have good soundtracks
I've
too.
heard,
I didn't
that
play
game has
them.
always been described as like literally playing a Miyazaki movie.
Oh wow, yeah.
So it's probably done really well, but I don't have my own experience with it, so I cannot answer. We're on to Best Art Direction. Nominees
many are
for
there
Best
left? Jesus.
Art Direction. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 categories. We're almost there.
Perfect.
Almost there. Because I had to get home and fucking grind Destiny. I lost it. Shit, changed my phone.
You're right there.
Best Art Direction.
Yeah.
Nominees are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption 2, Return of the Obra Dinn. I'm going to go with
abstain.
Octopath for this.
What?
Octopath Traveler was that Switch RPG, the one where you're playing these like very well lit and animated and rendered, like almost like Super Nintendo 16-bit sprites, but you're in a 3D world. The
Oh, that's
world
cool.
is 3-dimensional and even has like a slightly cartoonish style, but the world is fully 3D that you're existing
That's
in.
cool.
And you're like a flat character. And this game was actually shown when we were at E3, when me and you were physically at E3. I remember it being shown off, and I was like, this is a really, really, really cool design. And I think it's the most original out of all of these. I mean, you're going to have amazing art direction for God of War and for Assassin's Creed for sure. Just
Right, huge budget.
in the planning stages and in recreating Greece and just the Norse setting of this most recent God of War here. Red Dead Redemption 2. In my opinion, you have like all the not the documents, but like the catalogs, like the amount of actual legitimate art people had to do for Red Dead is pretty wild.
I can't
Obra
comment.
Dinn,
Yeah, I can't comment. So.
I would say Octopath in terms of overall art direction was the most impactful.
Well, I was going to say
these.
God of War, but okay.
We can have our.
You can disagree.
Well, I
It's
just
okay.
looked at the art for Octopath Traveler, and I don't know.
I'm thinking more of like the whole conceptual mix together of the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from.
I should watch some footage of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Would I enjoy that game?
No,
Okay, thanks.
save you a lot of time. You would hate it.
Yeah.
We've got
Best ongoing game.
best ongoing game: Destiny 2: Forsaken, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah. Okay. Destiny.
Destiny
What the
2
fuck are
Forsaken.
you talking about?
I got to disagree. I got to go with Rainbow Six Siege. That game. So if you go back, if you have some time, watch a video on the history of it. 2 years ago when it came out, 2.5 years ago, it literally like the beta came out and people were like, this fucking blows. This is the worst game in the world. And then within about a month of it launching, there was like 50 million active players globally.
So it was
Wild.
a fast turnaround.
Fast turnaround. And then now it's like esports, like people making millions of dollars playing it, streamers playing it. That game started quite literally in the gutter.
From the bottom.
And started from the bottom. Now we're here. Like that game. And fundamentally, they've only added maps and operators. They've tweaked weapon balances and shit like that. But like And it's 50 million players still. It's even more. It's wild. It's an incredible game. And it's so simple. It's 3-minute rounds.
What are you defining as your criteria for an ongoing game, though?
For me, it's people who've stuck with the game, people who've joined the game, and the game really, my CSGO argument, right?
Yeah.
Unaltered gameplay, which is at the core
That just still
incredibly
keeps gaining.
refined, but very simple and accessible.
I was thinking of Destiny because of their approach to community.
End game content. Or
Their approach to
yeah.
community and growing their
Yeah,
community.
that's a fair, yeah.
interacting
And I
with
think
the
especially
But
with
even
where we're at
even
now.
Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six Siege, they do the same thing, right? They do a lot of community. They'll
do
take
they?
in. They have like a
Yeah.
PBE, right? Public test environment. I mean, look, it can go either way.
That's
I'm
a
not.
tight one. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a tight
it's
one.
all
I think
opinion
both
based,
are.
obviously. I just think in terms of things you can do in the game, like Tom Clancy's
Right.
very like it's PvP, and that is what it is. It's
Yeah, yeah.
esports.
Yeah, it's true.
Playing PvP. Destiny 2 is just out of these the most persistent world experience with the
Yeah.
most variety of things you can do.
Yeah.
The most environments, the
And
most
co-
the
and-
things
and
you can
engaged
see and
community as
experience.
well.
Yeah,
For
very
sure.
engaged, very passionate for things that are good and for things that are bad. Very
Yeah.
vocal, positive or negative. I'm gonna go with Destiny 2. Felix is Destiny 2, and Bruce Grimm is
Siege.
Rainbow Six.
Call it Siege.
Best narrative: Detroit Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, Marvel's Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2.
I've played only one of them, God of War, and I'm going to go with God of War just because if it's half as good as all the other God of War games, which I've heard it is, if not better, the narrative is just what sucks you in and doesn't want
I
to
have a
go over.
comparison, so I have to go with Marvel Spider-Man.
Okay.
Wow, even above God of War or Red Dead?
Well, Red Dead, I haven't gotten past fucking chapter 3. And I've heard there are problems with the narrative. I heard at the end, I just heard this. I haven't experienced it. I heard it turns into just like a mindless shooter for no reason. But I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know if it's mindless.
I know I've been captured and just
At the part you're at.
absorbed by every like actual narrative beat that's happened in the story
Yeah.
Which one?
for Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the reason I said that about Spider-Man is because it's their own narrative of Spider-Man. It's not like a narrative that
It's like an original score.
Yeah, it's it's a Spider-Verse that they're making.
Yeah, it's cool.
And when it starts, and this is in the first mission, they throw out everything you knew before. Kingpin gets captured. All the other villains that Spider-Man normally fights, they're
If
all
you were coming in with any kind of preconceived notions, they're telling you right away it doesn't matter.
That's cool.
yeah, they're all in prison. It's 8 years past Spider-Man. He's not young. He's an 8-year veteran Spider-Man. And they start off from that,
Worrying
and
about
then,
that 401k
but they keep you.
out of high school.
But
Direct
through that
deposit
whole
from work, no
narrative,
job.
he's not with Mary
Between
Jane.
jobs.
He's not
Right.
with Mary Jane. And that whole narrative keeps you guessing on like, well, if you are somebody that always knew Spider-Man,
That's
you
great.
basically are saying, what the fuck are they doing with this? Who's the villain? Who are the people?
Yeah,
What's
nice.
going on?
That's cool.
So Doc Ock is your friend from minute one,
It's weird.
and you're like,
That's
"Weird,
dope.
What?
I like it.
All right, so you're going with Spider-Man. I'm going to go with Red Dead. Did you have a option?
God of War.
God of War? Okay, cool. Bruce Grimm with God of War. Next, we have Best Game Direction. A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead Redemption 2. There's just so much to put together with that, dude.
I would agree with you.
I mean,
I can't comment. I got to abstain.
Fuck, do you pull that off?
It's a great question.
It blows my mind.
I mean,
the
it took
fucking
him
scope of it, the
8
mass
years,
of
right?
it and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, what are the other ones on there?
A Way Out, Detroit, God of War, Spider-Man.
I always see a director as a supervisor that organizes a bunch of teams together and makes something.
At the bare minimum, but you would hope that a director also influences a vision in some way. And that's why I would just comment. I'm not going to choose A Way Out, but I would comment on A Way Out because of the impact that it's had on people that played it. A Way Out is the 2-person prison break game that people have said must be played with someone that you care about. A best friend, a sibling, someone that you're invested in, like
Right.
helping and
I like to retract.
you know.
I like to
getting out of this
retract my
experience.
comment.
Yeah,
I think I agree with you. You're right.
for what? I'm not choosing A Way Out.
Oh, you're
I'm
not
choosing
choosing
Red Dead
that.
Redemption 2. But I would just wanted to make some comments about it.
I thought you were choosing that.
I'm not choosing it,
I was
no.
going to align with you.
You can still align with my
Well, I
thoughts.
started thinking about Red Dead Redemption 2, and I started thinking, there's so much going on there. but at the same time, I don't know.
At the end of the day, a director's job is to make sure that fucking boat gets to where it needs to go. And that's what Red Dead did. You had its narrative, you had its story, you had this entire living, breathing world that you can exist in, and it made it. We're playing that game.
Well, I started to think how much the story stuff is. I don't know. Maybe this is just my own subjective thing. Never mind.
It's hard when you go down those paths. Because
I'm thinking of a director's
other reasons for things.
I'm thinking of a director's active choice to make sure every story mission was consciously on rails and make it more of a cinematic experience. Literally, it's the movie, their movie that you have to watch or be a part of.
Yeah.
for the missions.
The only and the only time that it becomes a game that's my game is when I'm not in their
in
missions.
between. Yeah.
So
I'm okay with that.
Do I
personally.
award a director who chose to say, you don't get this, this is mine, and I own this, and you need to watch it? Mm. Do I award him Best Director when he made the choice to take the game away from me?
I do.
You do.
I do.
Okay.
For those, because I know what I'm getting into, and I fully.
And in God of War,
experience
the
that
question was never on the
fully
table.
aware.
Though. God of War, the question was never on the table.
Right.
I knew this was their game, and they were going to present this narrative to me, and I got lost in it.
Cool.
All right.
Best role playing game: Dragon Quest XI, Monster Hunter World, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire.
Abstain.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's not on the list.
It's not on the list.
Oh well.
No.
It would never make that list because
Yeah.
of the that falls under the thing that you've argued with me on the show about how there is a definition, a certain thing that comes into what you call a role playing game.
Yeah.
Right? It can't just have RPG elements. It's got to have
Yeah.
like
all of these
it's got to
things
be
on the list.
literally.
These
a
are all
role-play-
very traditional role playing games.
They're all very traditional.
I
yeah.
kind of wouldn't consider Monster Hunter World really this so much because I
Right.
think it's missing like the aspect of like having a level system that you grow and and gain power with, but it's got its own very very deep RPG like mechanics.
Yeah, I saw the Octopath screenshots when you were talking about it earlier, and like that's exactly what I know to be RPG.
Right.
Looking kind of like early
Yeah.
Final Fantasy and like
specifically a JRPG, a Japanese role playing game. I have no experience with Dragon Quest XI. Someone in our Discord
people
is having a
have been
lot of
raving
about
about
it.
it.
Yeah. I again wish I played Ni no Kuni 2, but I'm going to have to abstain or choose Monster Hunter off of my own experience, which was a great, amazing, immersive, deep experience. But in terms of the role playing genre, I think one of these other ones probably deserves it. Let's go with best action/adventure game: Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
It's fucking crazy to think that literally like 5 possible Game of the Year awards came out in 1 year.
Yeah,
I mean, literally every single one of these games is like
it's like an amazing,
if
gift.
they had released one of these games in 5 years in a row.
I bought all of those games.
Yeah.
Every one of the games.
Yeah, and
on
it's
there.
all in 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like they're all amazing. There's no best. They're also different.
I would choose Red Dead out of that, but I would probably choose God of War if I played God of War. That to me seems more of like an action game as opposed to Red Dead's very chill cowboy
Well,
pace.
God of War also does a nice thing where it's one of the games like Red Dead, like you don't skip a cutscene,
Yeah.
right? So you're immersing yourself
It's
in this
the work-
action
it's the-
adventure. You're fighting, and then suddenly, right, you're having this conversation about Norse mythology.
It's
Right.
the
I'd stick with
word.
Red Dead with
It's the
that
it's the
definition.
fact that action/adventure is in there that takes me back to action adventure as I defined it in the 80s when I watched action adventure movies when I was a kid.
like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and the only one that falls in that category for me is God of War
Okay.
because it feels Marvel Spider-Man. It doesn't have enough
Adventure.
mythology in it. Like it does. It has
got
its
it.
own personal mythology, but it's not big enough. There's not really high stakes. Like God of War has really high stakes. I mean, this guy, former god or whatever he used to be, goes.
Yeah, he's the son of Zeus.
Yeah, so he's hiding out in a place with Norse gods that don't want him there.
Yeah.
Like the stakes are fucking huge. He could be eradicated from Earth, because he's here in this place he's not supposed to be.
Yep.
Like there's all that palpable.
So that's very much the adventure.
all that palpable tension comes into it. Now I haven't finished Red Dead Story to know if it gets that way, but the stakes just aren't as high in that game.
So the stakes are part of your equation.
Yeah,
Yep.
adventure, action adventure needs.
I would
higher
stick
stakes.
with Red Dead, just in terms of the whole action game experience.
I've
Adventure game
I've
experience,
heard
I should
though.
say.
I've heard though in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, like the stakes are really high for her too. Though, like I heard something about her fucking shit up. It's called the Shadow of the Tomb Raider because she's dark as fuck in it. Like
Yeah, and there's also there's these moments, and this is actually a turnoff to people I talk to about, where you can't skip her death scenes, and you see it every time. So there's a scene where you're like have to like stealth move past a level, and the guy hunting you like chokes you out when he catches you. So literally, one of my friends I talked to, he got caught like 3-4 times with this guy until he figured out the pathing, and he literally he turned it off.
Is it like a gratuitously?
Yeah,
long,
it's like you literally it's like a
death scene?
close up of her getting like
that-
a woman getting choked to death.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
that's how.
And so
that's
for
how
like
it's been,
15,
yeah.
20, 30 seconds, and you're just like, and you can't skip it. You can't just be like restart,
Yeah.
right? Because it didn't restart the level. My friend was literally like, after having it happen 5 times, I turned it off and walked away from it for an hour.
Yeesh, I can
Because I didn't need to watch a
absolutely
woman
see that being uncomfortable.
get choked out by a dude who's like 4 times her size.
All the games are like that. All 3 of them.
But it's fucked up. That's
Yeah.
my point, right? And,
Yeah.
and it takes you out of it.
Conan O'Brien when he did his Clueless
Yeah,
Gamer
right.
on it.
Oh, was he? Did he
Yeah.
react on that?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because there's this scene where she falls into a river,
Right.
and then
And there's spikes.
gets caught in the rushing water, and there's these like you got to navigate. You have to guide her as she's in the water, so she doesn't hit the spikes on either side of the rushing river downhill.
You get impaled.
And literally, the spike, like she gets Phineas Gaged. You know, where the tamping iron went through his head.
Oh,
You know, when the tamping iron goes through the bottom of your chin and then out the top of your head. That's Phineas Gage was a guy who had that happen. He lost his frontal lobe because of it. And this is what happens
yeah.
every.
This is the Felix moment where we get the little history.
Yeah,
lesson
she
right in the middle of it.
she gets Phineas Gaged like
Over and over and over.
over and over and over. This like spike goes right through.
Yeah. And it's a close up every time. And you're just like, why?
And you can see like the thing through in her mouth going through her skull.
it's
and
just
shit.
gratuitous.
So fucked up.
It moves from the kind of single player art piece to just like, let me show you how fucked up my mind
Yeah.
can get.
Violence
Or
for
when
violence
she
sake.
later
Yeah, and
on
it's just
later on in the first game where she falls from this high height into
Right.
a river of blood.
Yeah.
And she's just covered in fucking blood.
Right.
Dope.
Yeah.
Best action game.
God.
Not action / adventure, just action game. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Dead Cells, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Far Cry 5, Mega Man 11. It's a weird mix. It's a weird mix of games. It's a weird category to put these games in.
Strange. There's no adventure there.
I have to put Destiny 2 in there as best
Just
action
so much
game.
staying power, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I have to abstain.
I mean,
honestly,
if I was a Battle Royale fan, Black Ops 4 might be getting...
Why the
vote.
fuck is Far Cry 5 on there?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like, what the fuck? Like, that's weird.
Mega Man 11 wasn't that good.
It's almost like they had this other
No.
category and they were like, Far Cry 5, they put a lot of effort out. Let's just pop them in there.
Yeah.
I played it, but I wouldn't put it.
All right,
I
last
wouldn't say
one,
it's the
big
best.
one.
Here it is, Game of the Year. Game of the Year nominees. We've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Those are the nominees for Game of the Year. So I'm going to go
I'm
with
glad
Destiny
Fortnite's
2
not on it.
Forsaken is my choice for Game of the Year.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Is that not on
Not
the
even
list?
on the
I'm
fucking
glad. I'm glad Fortnite's not on that fucking list.
Yeah. Out of these, I would choose Red Dead Redemption 2. For sure.
Would you?
Yeah. 1000%. I've at least seen enough of all of these to kind of make a judgment call and played more than half of them. No, it's a lie. Played
I-
30% of them.
I've only played one of them, God of War, and I adore it because it's, again, I'm biased. It's one of my favorite game series of all time. It's just a beautiful revisitation of where the game started 10 years ago, and it's a nice way to take it. I really can't make an honest, educated
No, and
opinion here. So,
you know
and from what I've heard, I mean, every single one of these games is incredible, and
Yeah.
they're different they're different enough to where
I think it's tough because of the differences. Like all these
Right.
games have something for someone.
So you're comparing an apple to an orange to a pear to a
God
banana.
of War is an amazing crafted experience where you play through it once and that's what it is. Red Dead Redemption 2.
And that's why I
is
put
going
God
to
of
be
War at the top of the
ongoing.
action.
Right.
I put God of War at the top of the action adventure. Red Dead Redemption 2 is not going to be ongoing. I've already heard from people that once they finish the single narrative of that game, they're only going to play the online, which is not the same game.
Well, again, that comes down to preference. I
Right.
can see myself wandering this world as almost like Zen chill mode with
Yeah.
no specific action or goal,
Right.
just like hunting or being out
Yeah.
in the wild. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I've thought about this a lot because those are two games that I'm playing a lot of. And when Red Dead 2 came out, I was amazed by it and I thought it was amazing and everything like that. But the minute I started hitting the lack of choice, the lack of game in the narrative story missions, I realized that I can't, if I take the term game literally, I can't call Red Dead 2 the best game because it doesn't give me enough choice to like do the things I want to do and play it as a game.
But in the narratives specifically.
In the narrative specifically, yeah.
But God of War did that for you.
Well, God of War, no, I'm not going to talk about God of War. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is my game of the year.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Cool.
Because it gives you all these choices,
Right.
like narrative choices to like, similar to...
And it actually changes the game
It
enough,
changes the
right?
game. It changes the game. It lets you make choices and
Yeah.
change the game. It has this very, very complex system for getting gear and leveling up. That's why
Yeah.
I made the joke about the RPG earlier.
Right.
I totally understand why it wouldn't go into that category. But like for this one, it's got this epic narrative, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's a giant open world, and then it also is a game, like a really good game
Yeah.
where you have to figure out like what is the best loadout gear type that I need in order to like, you know, it's good. They made it. They did a great job.
One day, I'll experience
And from what I heard, is
Sure.
also it's also accessible. It's not like for me, right? I've been thinking about like I should get Red Dead Redemption 2, but everybody's told me is like you can't put that game down after an hour, right? But Assassin's Creed,
Yeah, you can.
I can play for 45 minutes, do a couple of missions, kill a couple of dudes, get a shield or whatever, and
Yeah.
be like, cool, I'm done.
Red
I feel good about
Dead's
this.
investment
you can
time
quick
is
s-
longer.
you could quick save,
Right,
for
and
sure.
Red Dead also, it's like when I sit down and go to that theater or whatever, play a poker game, it can take half an hour to play a fucking poker game, and it gets me nothing.
It's also
right?
not a game when you have to sit,
Correct.
watch your horse for 45
Right.
whatever minutes, ride all the
Right.
time.
Right.
Like
Love it.
It's that, no, but I'm saying it's a great.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah.
What, did we
yeah,
do
yeah.
the narrative category? What did I say for that? For narrative, best narrative. Oh, I said.
you
What did I say
said-
for narrative?
Let's go back.
You
and
said
see
God of
what
War.
the-
Did I say God of War for
I'm pretty sure
narrative?
you said
too?
You did.
See, I was going to.
You said God of War.
Maybe the narrative wasn't a category.
Yeah. Rewind the tape. Maybe
Yep, there-
direction.
yeah, narrative was Detroit.
No, I never said anything for this because I remember I flipped to like. No, wait, what?
Detroit, God of War, Life is Strange
Oh, I
2,
said
episode
Spider-Man.
1, Spider-Man.
Oh,
said
you're right,
Spider-Man.
because it reinvented
No,
the
that's
Spider Verse.
I'm
yeah.
staying with the Spider-Man thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so Red Dead Redemption 2 wins nothing for me.
That's really funny.
It's funny because I'm such a Rockstar fanboy.
I know. You were
Yeah.
hyped probably more for that than any of the other ones.
and I'm still playing it, but I'm just not on that level of hype.
That's totally
That I
fine.
am-
I think what the best thing that happens during Game of the Year discussions is it really makes you define what's important
Yeah.
to you for those categories. And I think it's
Correct.
a great thing to break down, which is why I didn't mind going as long as we did. Because we did not end the show at an hour and a half. The show is long as fuck. And if you are still here listening with us,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thank
it so
you,
much
thank you.
for sure.
And thank you.
Speaking of hype, I have to say one more thing.
Say one more thing. We're doing the wrap up. Did you want to? Again, thank you for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Great discussion here with the game awards and also with your Battlefield 5 discussion.
Yep.
Like I said, had no chance to really experience that, so I appreciate all the insight.
Yeah, get in on it. It's gonna be good. Like I said, work in progress. So as it might be a good game to get into in a couple months, right? When all the content's there, when everything's there.
Yeah.
When the kind of the
I want to see
the shit bucket shitters are, not the shitters anymore. So
I want to see what kind of theaters they introduce in that.
yes, I'm very excited. So December 6th is also a big update for like theaters of war, like tides of war. So there's a lot of stuff coming, and I think it has just a really solid foundation. I can't say enough good things about it. And again, everything's got bugs. Certain things I'm just pissed about, but overall, just a really enjoyable experience. But the other thing I'm really happy about, real briefly, that'll be my sign out, is Command and Conquer Remaster. has been
Oh, yeah.
confirmed.
Oh yeah.
Which I am beyond excited about. That was like the first game where I played and I forgot that I was hungry, right? Like that, and you forgot to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I didn't piss myself, right? But like I
You
turned the
take it farther.
Yeah.
farther down that.
I turn the computer off and I go, fuck, I didn't eat.
No,
for like 8 hours.
never.
That's the next day.
So
I never pissed myself gaming, but I definitely shit myself like once,
Jesus.
maybe twice.
That seems worse.
That's way worse. Way to end the podcast this week on a shitty
I'm
note.
just letting you know. I'm not gonna fucking lie
Felix
about it.
has and always will be an open book.
Didn't
Yeah,
feel
this
like
is
getting
good,
up. You know, I had like that granola bar
But yeah.
or whatever that just passed right on
Oh,
through.
okay, gotcha. The what is it? The sugar-free gummy bears on Amazon.
Dude, Trip Zero's looking at me. He's like going to quit tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think done with this fucking podcast.
Yeah. I won't do it live on the show. We're going to
Anyway.
do this professionally. But
Yeah. Bruce Green signing off. Command and Conquer Remaster. Battlefield 5 is great. Thank you for having me.
yeah, dude, for sure.
I'm out.
I'm Trip Zero. You can find me on Mixer, and really any of my socials are Trip Zero TV, all together, no spaces, zero the word, Trip Zero TV. Stream every day on Mixer, and I will be doing a lot of Destiny 2 with Black Armory, grinding for that raid. We're going to be doing the raid Friday at 6 p.m., so watch a bunch of us there. Lock and Key will be in the squad. Neo Aoshi will be as well. We're gonna try and get that done in the first week. I don't have any preconceived notions of being on any kind of like top completion lists, but I feel like we can get a good crack at it day one. So I'm very excited for that stuff. But yeah, outside of Mixer, which again is mixer.com/Trip0TV, Twitter is probably the best place to follow me because I'm very active there, and that is again Trip0TV.
Yeah, twitch.tv /Felix Hergood, mixer.com /Felix Hergood. I do a Mitch chat. If you're in there on either service, you're going to be interacting with both Twitch and Mixer. We do it live at the same time.
Fuck it. We're doing
this,
live.
Fuck it.
This is Felix Hergood. Felix shits in his pants. Hergood.
Felix shits in his pants are good. That's how we're signing off. That's not the title of the show, by the way.
I'm not going to call it
All
that.
right, good.
I was
Look, I don't care. Talk about all.
Hey, I was
going
going to call it Reskin.
You call it Reskin. That's a good one.
But
Yeah.
now that you say it, you can't say the name that you're going to say it.
Oh, I don't know what I'm going to call it.
You can't you can't ruin
Nah.
it. You can't ruin it for the listeners out there,
I know.
or for us. More for us.
Yeah,
the surprise
correct,
is the name of the
correct.
episode.
Yeah.
It's like a secret.
There's some good ones recently.
It's been great ones. All right, you guys have a great day. Enjoy the Game Awards. We will see you next week for more.
Later.
Thanks for hanging out.
Talk to you.
How much you hear about this?
Oh, fuck yeah. The
bag, yeah.
Baggate? Baggate?
We'll talk about Baggate a little
Let's
bit.
talk about Baggate for a little bit. That was fucking
Baggate?
rotten Baggate.
What's that?
Well, it's
Oh, the nylon bag versus
it's a portmanteau of the word bag
Yes,
and
yes,
Watergate.
Yes. Yes, I understand the concept of it. Thank you. I just wanted to
I
make
don't
sure.
think he needs to know what
Yeah.
what gate addended onto a word means.